Good evening and welcome to Foxhall Stadium, the home of the Ipswich Witches, but tonight the venue for Tigers Academy Open. It's an individual meeting showcasing the best of British youth and a tribute to the great John Louis as well, who was of course proud to ride for his hometown team. Always packed with local talent, and always he himself played an active role in trying to develop local and international riders. So this is going to be an interesting meeting because we've got 20 heats of action to love. We will have as well a semi-final and a final. So usual kind of individual event, really, a bit like, say, the British final. 20 heats of the qualifying action. The top two going directly to the final. The next four highest scorers racing in a semi-final. The top two from that progressing to the final. Now, something that is a little bit different about this is the fact that we've got the lineup paired into two halves, effectively. And we've got Group A, which are arguably more experienced riders, the likes of Cooper Rushen and Jody Scott and Ace Piper. And Group B, which features some of the more upcoming talents that are developing through the ranks at the moment, the likes of Ryan Ingram and Seth Norman or Eli Meadows. And throughout the course of the meeting, really, the points that they get, they're paired into pairs. We'll go through the pairs as well, and that there'll be a pairs heat at the end to round things off as well. We'll explain it as we go, but each of those pairs also has a bit of a celebrity mentor as well from the world of Speedway, and we'll go through those in just a second. So the lineup, as far as it goes, the parade is on now, and there we see that's Senna Summers there down at trackside at the moment, and Ace Piper also there as well, Geordie Loftus, Jody Scott. So the full lineup is 16 riders, and we've got the likes of, for example, Jody Scott rides at number one. He's paired up with Danny King as the mentor, and the other half of his duo, if you like, he'll be paired up with Seth Norman. So Danny King has got Seth Norman and Jody Scott, and he's going to be mentoring them through the course of the meeting. So they see the full lineup. Senna Summers, number two. We just saw him in the shot there. He's been riding with the Oxford Chargers through the course of this season. And has been going very well indeed. Ace Piper at number three, one of the riders that needs maybe a little less of an introduction. We've been seeing him in action quite a lot on BSN recently, riding for the Red Car Bears, where he's been going very well indeed. He rides at number three. Of course, he's the son of Theo Piper, and his brother Steen Piper is also in the lineup as well. Geordie Loftus rides at number four. He's actually Australian, but he's got British heritage. He's got a British passport, and part of his family from Wales, actually, as well. But he's been riding with the Edinburgh Monarchs in the Championship and also the Monarchs Academy in the National League. Number five is Jake Mulford, who's been riding with the Red Car Bears and also the Bellevue Aces as well. Also had some time in SGP2 this year also. And so a lot of experience there at number five for Jake Mulford. Ryan Ingram is at number six, a newer rider to many. He's been riding for Leicester and Plymouth in the National Development Trophy as well. And Leicester have been having a good season, of course, in the National Development League. Jamie Etherington is at number seven. He's the son of the former rider Matthew Etherington, actually, grandson of Barry Etherington. Some people may recognise that name. So he's a third-generation Speedway rider. Speedway running thick through the family, as you can see there. He's been riding for Kent and has also been riding for the Scunthorpe Sheffield outfit as well in the National Development League. At number eight is Jack Schmelt. He's raced for the Bellevue Colts in the National Development League and has been getting some great experience through the course of this year. And number nine is Ashton Vale. Again, been riding for a couple of clubs, actually. Been riding for the Oxford Chargers and also for the Kings Lynn Young Stars in the National Development Trophy. And, of course, the Kings Lynn side in the National Development Trophy, they won it. And it's been a good year as well for Oxford too. So he's been busy himself. Harrison Rogers is at number 10, comes from Chelmsford in Essex. He's spent time riding for Scunthorpe and Sheffield and also the Kings Lynn team as well. Many people will be familiar with Cooper Rushen. If you're not familiar with Cooper Rushen, I suspect you will be very soon. You'll look out for his tassels. He's bringing back the tassels and doing it old school style. So look out for Cooper Russian, 15 at the moment, turns 16 in time for the start of the next season. Seth Norman turns 15 today, so we can take part in this meeting. And also it's been announced today that he's going to be riding for the Leicester Lion Cubs as well in their final National League meeting, which is coming up very soon. So happy birthday to Seth Norman, also been a strong contender in the 250cc British Youth Championships as well. Ben Trigger, we saw him in action in the under-19 final recently as well, and also riding for Redcar as well recently, and getting a lot of experience here. He was the British 500cc youth champion in 2021. Steen Piper, brother of Ace, and he is riding for Scunthorpe Sheffield and also for the Middlesbrough Tigers as well in the National Development League, as you can see by his race jacket there. Vinnie Ford, well, he was very close indeed to becoming the British Under-19 champion at the weekend, but a seized engine stood between him and the top step of the podium, and that was his afternoon over. But certainly he'll be one to watch in this one. Of course, been riding for the Workington Comets, but also spent time racing for Kent and Leicester as well. And Eli Meadows, who's also been busy riding for the Plymouth, Leicester and the Birmingham National Development League teams as well. So these riders all going to be out on track racing through the course of the qualifying 20 heats. And then after that, we'll have our finalists for the individual part of the competition. And we'll have a look at the pairs as well, because, as I say, they've been grouped into duos, into pairs, and they've got celebrity mentors as well, if you want to call them that, from the world of Speedway. So Jodie Scott and Seth Norman, they're paired with Danny King. Cooper Russian will be with Chris Louis. Ace Piper and Harrison Rogers are going to be watched over by Richie Hawkins, the Ipswich team manager. Ben Trigger and Geordie Loftus, they're going to be with Mark Loram, in fact, as well. So certainly some experience there. Jake Mulford and Jack Schmelt are going to be with Cameron Heaps, watching over them. We've got Ashton Vale and Ryan Ingram. They've done well. They've got Jason Doyle in their corner, helping them out through the course of the meeting. Vinnie Ford, not Jason Doyle, Jeremy Doncaster, another JD. But Jason Doyle is there. But Jeremy Doncaster is obviously a lot of experience there, and an Ipswich legend in himself. So Vinnie Ford and Senna Summers are with Tom Brennan, and Jamie Etherington and Steen Piper will be the final duo, and they are going to be with Ollie Allen, one of the Great Britain team managers. So that's how it's going to shape up here at Foxhall Stadium, and 20 heats of Speedway. Of course, welcome along to this free stream brought to you with the Ipswich Witches and BSN. And there's a number of ways you can watch it. Of course, you can see it on Facebook, but you can also catch it on the BSN and Ipswich Witches YouTube channels as well. So wherever you're watching, hope you have a fantastic evening of Speedway. And this is the future of British Speedway. There's some good riders here to watch out for, some of which you will know, some of which you might not know. And this will be an introduction to you, because some of these riders now, like, for example, we've got Seth Norman celebrating his 15th birthday. He'll be into the National League for the next season. Of course, he's going to get his first opportunity at that in the coming days. And then the likes of Cooper Russian, who will be eligible to be in this next season as well in the Championship and in the Premiership, potentially, of course. So certainly he'll be one to watch, and we'll guide you through it. And then we are going to round off. We talked about those pairs there. The top pairs will have a one-off at the end of the meeting. So we're looking forward to that. So we're about to get underway with the first heat. There we see Danny King just having a word in Jodie Scott's ear before heading out for the first heats here, which will be contested between Jodie Scott, Senna Summers, Ace Piper and Geordie Loftus. So that'll be the first heat to open things up here in this very special event that we're taking in this evening at Foxhall Stadium, the final Speedway of the year. If the commentary is breaking up slightly, I am coming to you from our international studio elsewhere away from Foxhall. So we're a bit of a distance away, a bit of more of a remote production on my behalf. So if it does break up, apologies. But some may say that is actually a bonus feature that you'd pay extra for. But, I couldn't possibly comment. But we'll guide you through it and bring you the coverage from Foxhall Stadium through the course of the next 20 heats. And then we've got the semi-final and final to come. And I know lots of people will be watching with a bit of interest, depending on this or not, or whether your season is effectively over as a Speedway fan, or you've got something to look forward to in the grand finals that are coming up in the championship. And also we've got the BSN Series final to come next week as well, between Pool and Redcar. A few Redcar riders in this opening heat, with two of them involved in Ace Piper and Jody Scott, who are just getting ready to head out on track in just a few moments. And we'll bring you a flavour of the action through the course of the meeting as well, and hear from some of those involved and get down in the pits, and just waiting for the riders to push off for the opening heat tonight. And if you are joining us on Facebook, particularly, if you want to leave us a message on the feed, give us your comments on any of the action, then leave us a comment on there, and we'd love to try and give you a mention. We've got Lionel buzzing hard. We've got Zeb, who says, "Hi BSN, how are you doing?" All right, how are you? Les Peters, big chance for the youngsters to impress top-class advisors. Very good idea. It is a good idea. Something different. Always good to try something different in meetings like this at the end of the season. So see how it goes. But yeah, this is an opportunity for these riders to come out and race in front of those that have got a lot more experience, and then get that feedback straight away, and then go out and try and put it into practice as well. And for many riders too, Ipswich isn't usually a track that's particularly big on the youth circuit. They go around many tracks on the youth series, and unless you're riding in the Premiership, of course, it's maybe a place that you won't often get to ride on. Certainly maybe not get the guaranteed 5 heats as well. So great experience for these riders, and great experience as well for the Ipswich management if they're looking out for risers or riders to have on their radar for the upcoming season. Then, well, maybe they'll be able to get themselves on that agenda as well. So it's good for all parties as well. You just never know what this may well end up leading to through the course of the upcoming season next year as well. So I'll run through the opening few heats and give you a flavour of who's going to be meeting who. Jody Scott, Senna Summers, Ace Piper and Geordie Loftus in heat number 1. Heat 2 will be Jake Mulford, Jamie Etherington, Ryan Ingram and Jack Schmelt. Harrison Rogers, Cooper Russian, Ashton Vale and Seth Norman in heat number 3. And heat 4, Vinnie Ford, Steen Piper, Eli Meadows and Ben Trigger out in heat number 4. So lots to look forward to, and they're all going to meet each other once through the course of this, and the top 2 will go through to the final, and it's all about finishing the tops really to get through all stages. So position 3 will get the riders a chance in that sort of last chance semi-final to get through to the grand final. So a one-off final at the end to crown the winner of the individual part of the event. Riders pushing off now for heat number 1, and coming round to the tapes for the first time this evening, and this one at Foxhall. Welcome to BSN. If you've never joined BSN before, then, well, this one's on us. A little bit of a freebie for you, but we're going to have some good racing here, some very good riders. I've seen a lot of these riders in the Under-19 Championships at the weekend, which took place at Workington. It was won by Luke Harrison. But Jody Scott, who's out in this race, he was a runner-up in it and came very close to becoming the champion himself. So some very handy riders here, and we'll guide you through who we're going to be seeing as we go. But it'll be Jody Scott there. He's in red Just having a couple of last-minute adjustments before heading down to the tapes for this first heat, riding for the Redcar Bears, but also League Championship winner with the Oxford sides in 2023 rather, and this year with Kings Lynn's National Development Trophy team. So he's got some silverware already to his name, and another chance to get some silverware in the BSN Series final, which is coming up starting this weekend as well. Gate number 2 will be Senna Summers. Ace Piper from gate number 3, and gate number 4 in yellow is Geordie Loftus. There's the full lineup of heat number 1 in this Tiger Academy Open. We will have one champion. Wayne Jarvis is our referee this evening, and looking forward to bringing you all the action. So, riders coming down to the tapes for this. Get ourselves underway with heat number 1. So here we go. Jodie Scott, Senna Summers, Ace Piper and Geordie Loftus. Away from the start, heading into that first corner. It is a good start there initially from Jodie Scott. Senna Summers sending it wide, and he's coming down the back straight, now mounting an attack on Jodie Scott, but Jodie Scott's away and looking good here. His Redcar teammate Ace Piper now battling for position. He's in third place, trying to find a way past Senna Summers, who's made a good start so far. Ace Piper holding that inside line, but Jodie Scott had to be on the sidelines for 12 days not so long ago because of concussion. He's back on the bike as of last weekend. And here comes Ace in place, gets past Senna Summers, who's relegated to third place in this opening heat here at Foxhall. But Jodie Scott throwing down the mantle to the rest of the lineup in heat number 1. Into the final lap we go. Jodie Scott ahead of Ace Piper. Senna Summers now coming under some pressure from Geordie Loftus, who's right up the inside of Senna Summers here. Geordie Loftus been riding for the Edinburgh Monarchs in 4th place. He's going to maintain that position, I think, close down to the line, but Senna Summers hold on for 3rd. But it's a win for Jodie Scott in heat number 1, and he gets off to the best possible start in this Tiger Academy Open, ahead of Ace Piper. Senna Summers coming in 3rd. Bit of a battle opening up at the back there in the closing stages of that, but Jodie Scott starting off with maximum points in heat number 1. So here's the results. Jodie Scott, the winner ahead of Ace Piper. Senna Summers 3rd. Geordie Loftus 4th. Round off heat number 1 at Tigers Academy Open here at Foxhall Stadium. And Jodie Scott there getting his business done right from the start. Gate number 1 obviously not having any particular problems. And, Senna Summers actually made a good start as well. He was battling into it, but holding that inside line there just proves to be the best route around Foxhall in the early stages for Jodie Scott. And of course Piper make a move past Senna Summers as well to get into 2nd place, and there he remained. So riders coming out on track now for heat number 2, and we'll see riders having a couple of practice starts there. In red is Jake Mulford, who, looking at the lineup there, easily the most experienced of the riders that we'll be seeing in heat number 2 for this one. And in blue, Jamie Etherington, and Jamie Etherington, as I say, he's a 3rd-generation Speedway rider. A lot of Speedway experience in the family. Matthew Etherington, his dad, and his grandfather as well, Barry Etherington, all thrown a leg over the Speedway bike. He's been doing it for Scunthorpe and Sheffield, the Steelers there in the National League, and also Kent as well. Here's the lineup for heat number 2, and it's Jake Mulford in red from gate number 1 of the Redcar Bears and the Bellevue Aces. Jamie Etherington in blue from gate number 2. Ryan Ingram is in white from gate number 3. And we've got a Bellevue Colt as well off the outside. Jack Schmelt comes from gate number 4 in yellow for this 2nd heat. And we will see if the inside gate performs well for Jake Mulford in this one. And I say he's got to be the bookie's favourite, you'd say, for this 2nd heat. But all riders are going to race against each other. He's never know what can happen popping out the start here, as we found in that opening heat. And the rider's been waved down to the start now to get us underway. for this heat number 2 here at Foxhall. Heading into that first corner, it is a solid start from Jake Mulford, who's out very quickly indeed. He's actually got some competition here, though, because Ryan Ingram is making him race for it. But Jake Mulford fending off that attack down the back straight and into start of the second lap. Jake Mulford looking pretty smooth. Of course, he's ridden this track before, riding for the Bellevue Aces. Got a bit of experience here, so maybe a bit of an upper hand on the rest of the field in that regard too. But Jake Mulford looking solid, starting off his quest for the title here at Foxhall, looking good. Second place is Ryan Ingram, and it's Jamie Etherington in third in this second heat at Tigers Academy Open. Into the final lap then, Jake Mulford's got a big Bears are in the final of the BSN Series, starting on Saturday against the Pool Pirate. But here at Full, it's going to be starting off with a win in this event here tonight. Easy does it for Jake Mulford. Second place, Ryan Ingram. Third place for Jamie Etherington, getting themselves off the mark in this event at Foxhall tonight. But certainly no messing out at the start there. And 2 wins from 2 from gate number 1 as well. But we've also had a couple of riders, maybe a couple of the favourites, you'd probably say. Jake Mulford being one of them. And collects the 3 points in his opening heat. So here's the official results of heat number 2. A win for Jake Mulford, Ryan Ingram second, Jamie Etherington third, Jack Schmelt fourth. Results of heat number 2. Certainly no messing from Jake Mulford out of the start here. It does actually look like Ryan Ingram's going to make a bit of a race of it early on here, but in the end, Jake Mulford just has a bit too much for Ryan Ingram and pulls away. And the rest was history, really, for the rest of that race. And Ryan Ingram starting off pretty solidly as well. And he's got Jeremy Doncaster as his mentor, so he's certainly got some experience of how best to ride the Foxhall circuit. Right now, on to heat number 3. And this could be a pretty interesting one, actually. Certainly Cooper Russian out in this one, and Harrison Rogers there in red. In white, we've got Ashton Vale, who was going pretty well in the under-19 championships. And we've also got Seth Norman out in this one as well. He's out in yellow, and it's his birthday today as well. He turns 15 years old, so what better way to celebrate your 15th birthday than riding in your first big individual event like this at this level of Speedway. He's going to have some handy competition, that's for sure, but Seth Norman's been going pretty well. The 250cc level 2, and will have ridden with Cooper Russian at that level, who's just progressed from 250cc's. Here's the full lineup. Harrison Rogers is in red from gate number 1. Gate number 2 in blue is Cooper Russian. Ashton Vale in white from gate 3. And it's Seth Norman, the birthday boy, in yellow from gate number 4. I would say probably Cooper Russian might be the one to watch here in blue. Had a very successful youth career. He's won the 125cc youth championships. He's won the 50cc championships last year. He is the reigning 250cc champion for now, for the next week or so, till that gets rounded up I think this coming weekend, actually, Leicester. And turning his attention now to his 16th birthday at the end of March and getting himself a team place in either the Championship or Premiership or wherever he'll end up. Watch out for those tassels. Heat number 3 is underway, and down to the first corner. It is a fast start from Cooper Russian, but the old stablemate there. Oh, and Seth Norman is down on the opening bend. Not the way you want to celebrate your birthday there. So the red lights are on, and hopefully Seth Norman's okay. Just got a bit out of shape there. He made a good start and possibly too quick into that corner there, and comes unstuck. And the race stopped, of course, in the interest of safety. But hopefully Seth Norman is okay and can bounce back on that one. Chris Louis coming out to have a word with Cooper Russian, who's got Chris Louis as his mentor. If you're just joining us, all of the riders have been paired up with an experienced professional from the world of Speedway to help guide them through the meeting here this evening, give them a bit more experience. And Richie Hawkins, one of those mentors. We just see him over there. There's Seth Norman back on the bike, which is good to see, thankfully unarmed. Let's have a look look back at what happened there. Good start from Cooper Russian, gets the bike down eventually, but he's in the lead, and Seth Norman comes flying into that first turn and just picks up and spins round and ejects off the bike. But thankfully, hopefully, no lasting damage on that one. And Seth Norman trying to get back on board and get the bike going again, which he successfully does. But he'll go, and we'll see him again a little bit later on, Seth Norman. And I think his next ride is scheduled for heat number 8. So he's got a few heats to come to terms with things. So into the pits he's going to have to go, and Seth Norman has got Danny King helping him out. So maybe getting a few words of advice from the Ipswich Witches team captain to get Russian there. Looked like he was under a bit of attack from Seth Norman until it all went slightly wrong. And heading into the pits, and hopefully the bike will be good to go again in a few heats' time. But yeah, not the start that Seth Norman would be hoping for. So 3 riders only for the restart of this. Seth Norman excluded from that one, and so it is Harrison Rogers in red from gate number 1. Gate number 2 in blue is Cooper Russian. Ashton Vale in white from gate number 3, and 3 riders only for heat number 3. But we will probably see a few thrills and spills throughout the course of the meeting as well. Such is the nature. And, Cooper Russian there, packing in the rut, make sure he makes the best start. He made a very good start, and probably looking to improve on it yet further, heading down to the first corner once the tapes rise. I'm just waiting for Harrison Rogers to come down and take his place at the start line. So early winners so far. Both have come from the inside gate, so no problem with the trap that Harrison Rogers is in. Can he match the speed of Cooper Russian into the first bend? Here we go, heat number 3. And away we go into the first corner. A solid start once again from Cooper Russian, who's out and trying to pull away, and he's doing that over Ashton Vale, who's assumed second place. Harrison Rogers in third. But Cooper Russian, certainly a lot of focus on Cooper Russian. He's got the tassels flying away there. He told me at the weekend that whatever happens, the tassels will be staying with Cooper Russian throughout the course of his career. It's part of his gig. Whoever he rides for, even if he's getting team suits, they will come with tassels. Something to watch out for. But he's going well, but we've got the red lights on actually, and the race is stopped. And Harrison Rogers has fallen off there. We just see him on the infield. He's up and on his feet, but yeah, the race stopped in heat number 3, but Cooper Russian was well ahead at the time the race stopped. So we'll just hang on and await further information of what happens next, whether it's being awarded or we're going to go again. Looks like we're going to go again. The bike's being fueled back up again. So, yeah, a bit of drama in this heat number 3. So we'll be going as a simple 2-rider runoff. We see Harrison Rogers as well there. So just a straight runoff between Cooper Russian and Ashton Vale in our 3rd heat in this one tonight. But unfortunate there, but good to see Harrison Rogers back on his feet and walking back into the pits, and be ready to take on his next ride pretty soon in this what's going to be a pretty packed meeting as we go through it as well. Welcome to this freebie from BSN and the Ipswich Witches. It's the Tiger Academy Open, and if you are just joining us, well, you haven't missed too much so far, because we're on to the 3rd heat, and had a couple of spills. There's one of those involved in the most recent one there, Harrison Rogers, but back on his feet and hopefully good to continue the rest of the meeting. Cooper Russian then, a little bit of a donut, and he's coming down to retake his place at the start. Straight run off here now in heat number 3, just 2 riders left. And it's the two in the middle there. Cooper Rushen with blue from gate number 2 and Ashton Vale in white from gate number 3. 2 riders only. And just a case of getting round safely at race speed. But certainly Ashton Vale will be having another opportunity here to try and keep tabs with Cooper Rushen, who was looking pretty fast in the last running of this particular race. So we'll see what this one brings. Heat number 3, take 3. As the tapes rise then, and into that first corner, another solid start, 3 out of 3 for Cooper Rushen. And Vale trying to sneak up the inside there, but Cooper Rushen's got it covered and going well once again out front. Here is Cooper Rushen to try and open up with a win. Obviously a bit of an easier task for him, just one opponent to deal with, and Ashton Vale doesn't really seem to have the answer to Cooper Rushen's speed around this particular circuit. I think Cooper Rushen has had a bit of experience around Ipswich a while ago. I know he's spun some laps, I think either at the start of the season or the back end of last season perhaps. But looking comfortable here. Finished on the podium in the Under-19 Championships last weekend. He made the runoff there, a 3-way runoff for the title to be decided. Finished with the bronze medal in the end. But coming round for the final time in heat number 3, Cooper Rushen, one of the exciting upcoming stars of British Speedway, starts off with a win in heat number 3. So fairly steady really in the end for Cooper Rushen. Ashton Vale in second place. And beyond that, just the 2 riders involved in that one. But Cooper Rushen starting off with 3 points on the board for his quest to get on the podium for a second time this week. Here's the official results, and a win for Cooper Rushen, Ashton Vale second, and Harrison Rogers and Seth Norman, of course, excluded from that one as well. So we'll see them back in action very soon. And now moving on to heat number 4, and well, this could be an exciting one as well. Vinnie Ford always brings a bit of excitement, and he's pushing off there in the red helmet colour. He's got Tom Brennan in his corner helping him out this evening and providing a bit of assistance. Steen Piper on the track as well, and they're in white and yellow. That's Eli Meadows and Ben Trigger. Eli Meadows is working with Chris Louis, and Ben Trigger with Mark Laram. So a lot of experience throughout there, and Ollie Allen is the man helping out the rider in blue, which is Steen Piper. We saw his brother Ace finish with a second place earlier on, and Steen Piper getting ready for some action, actually heading to Holland this weekend. There's a meeting going on in the Netherlands. The Red Car National League team are taking a team over. The Middlesbrough Tigers are racing in the Netherlands at the weekend on Sunday, and Ace and Steen, of course, his dad Theo is helping him out on the bike this evening, and sort of partly organised that. So heading over to Holland to spread the word of Speedway there this weekend. To our 4th heat, and here is the full lineup. It's Vinnie Ford in red from gate number 1. Gate number 2 in blue is Steen Piper. Eli Meadows in white from gate 3, and Ben Trigger in yellow, gate number 4. I don't think Vinnie Ford is actually excluded. I think that's just a graphic error. Which the computer just excluding people. So we just have to roll with it. He's not excluded, clearly. He's at the start. Yeah, we'll have a word with the master computer and get that fixed. But don't worry about that at the moment. Vinnie Ford very much is in the race, at least in this running of it. Anything can happen in the next minute or two. Who knows? So Vinnie Ford in red, Steen Piper blue, Eli Meadows in white, gate 3, and gate 4 in yellow is Ben Trigger. Heat number 4. And away into this first corner. It is a solid start from Vinnie Ford, and Ben Trigger now trying to burst around the outside, and what a move from Ben Trigger. Overtakes and passes Vinnie Ford, and Vinnie Ford's going to try and repay that one and come back up the inside on Ben Trigger. Close race this, and here comes Vinnie Ford. Gets the better of Ben Trigger. Ben Trigger holding that inside line and making a race of it down the back straight. Handlebar to handlebar stuff there briefly down the back straight, but it's Vinnie Ford back in the lead. Ben Trigger in second place, and third is the rider in white, Eli Meadows, who's making a battle there with Steam Piper for that third place. But out front, Vinnie Ford is going well and starting the final lap of his opening ride. It's Vinnie Ford ahead of Ben Trigger, but they had to work for it in the opening lap or two there. So certainly a little bit of action in that first lap or two. But coming round for the final time, Vinnie Ford's got the checkered flag in sight and backs a win in his opening ride. Second place is Ben Trigger, and third place goes to Eli Meadows in our their first heats. Heat number 4, our fourth heat, and Steam Piper fourth. But good race there. Things warming up here at Foxhall, and Vinnie Ford just collects a bit of a panel off his bike and takes that back to the pits, but he also takes 3 points back with him as well. So the result of heat number 4, and it was a win for Vinnie Ford in his opening ride, getting the better of Ben Trigger, but Ben Trigger had his moments, that's for sure. Eli Meadows third and Steam Piper fourth. The results of heat number 4 at Tigers Academy Open at Foxhall. So good bit of racing there. Let's look back at that first couple of laps or so of this one, because Vinnie Ford makes a blinding start, but keep an eye on Ben Trigger, comes sweeping round and mounts this attack down the back straight. Good move there by Ben Trigger, but Vinnie Ford's not having any of that, and Vinnie Ford is keeping it pinned to the inside of the Foxhall fourth bend there, and comes down the start-finish straight. Back comes Vinnie Ford, but Ben Trigger has another go as well. Does exactly the same back to Vinnie Ford, holding that inside line. Ben Trigger and Vinnie Ford not much in it down the back straight, but then round that bend, Vinnie Ford moves clear, and after that, it's a bit more of a tougher task for Ben Trigger to keep up with the action. So, Vinnie Ford starting off with a win in his opening ride in heat number 4. We can head down to the pits now. Of a break in with Harrison Rogers.
Thanks, Ian. Yeah, Harrison, it's never ideal crashing, of course, but in those moments, what can you learn? And you've got Richie here, so what can he share with you?
Well, I think I've just got to be a bit more confident on the bike, just keep my head straight and just go again. Obviously, Richie will help me out, give me a few tips and just go again, really.
And do you have a lot of experience around Foxhall? Because it's quite a difficult track.
Yeah, I come here most weeks, but like I ride after the meeting sometimes and it's quite a bit more grippy, but tonight it's slick, it caught me out a bit, so yeah.
Well, best of luck. Thanks for talking. Let's head back up to commentary.
Yeah, cheers, Charlotte. I mean, this is all about experience here this evening, and you know, for these riders, obviously getting a chance to race at Foxhall, but also getting the experience of working with experienced pros as well in the pits between races. And maybe a lot of what they'll learn is the stuff that you don't see on track, is the conversations that are happening in pits, and you know, the feedback that they're getting from the likes of Danny King or Chris Louis or Tom Brennan or Jeremy Doncaster, who's in the pits, these riders helping them out through the course of it. And this part of the progression. And we've also had a talk with Ollie Allen beforehand, and you know, sort of explaining what you know, you can achieve as a young rider as well. So there's all sorts going into the background of this. Right now, let's head back down to the pits, and Charlotte Woolsey is with Senna Summers.
Thanks, Ian. Yeah, Senna, your first heat, maybe not what you wanted, but having Tom as a mentor and his experience around here, what's he able to share to take forward?
Yeah, I think Tom sort of said it's my first time here, so your first race you just need to get out there and ride your bike and see what it's like. But when I came in, he said I was turning too early, which I thought that when I was riding, so I need to turn in a little bit later and then hopefully get my turn done earlier and make it a lot easier for myself.
And when you are on the bike, because you haven't been here, how different does it feel out there to the tracks you are used to, like at Oxford?
I'd say it's a little bit tighter and a little bit longer straights than Oxford, which obviously you're going faster and turning harder. It's always going to be a little bit more difficult, but I was a little bit nervous, but I think it wasn't as bad as what I thought it was, so I just need to get on now, make some starts and hopefully score some points.
Well, good luck for the rest of it. Thank you. Let's head back up to Ian. I think
Yeah, thanks. Senna Summers there. If you're not sure, he's actually the son of Aaron Summers, who many will recognise through the course of his career. A handy rider and making his way through. And we'll see him back in action in heat number 6, so not long from now. But right now it's heat number 5, and we had an exciting race with Ben Trigger in heat number 4. He's back out in this one, and he's off the inside gate in red. We'll see him in a moment. He's also up against the winner of the opening heat as well, Jody Scott, who's making his way onto the track there in blue. And Jody Scott going very well at this moment in time. Second place, silver medal in the Under-19 Championships a few days ago. And also been winning titles already with the Kings Lynn Young Star in the National Development League Trophy. So had a solid season, and of course riding also for Oxford through the course of his career too. In with the Chargers, there is Ben Trigger. Closer observers will notice the wheel, the rear spoiler on the wheel there. It's the the yin and yang motif, if you like, that used to be very much what Gary Havelock had on the back of his bike, and it is a direct tribute to Gary Havelock, who has been working a lot with Ben Trigger through the course of his career. But right now he's on a bit of a countdown with the clock ticking down to heat number 5. So Ben Trigger's coming out from gate number 1, hopefully in red. Jody Scott in blue from gate number 2. Jake Mulford in white from gate 3, and Ashton Vale in yellow, gate number 4. The lineup for heat number 5, but we're still awaiting Ben Trigger to get out onto the track, having 2 rides back to back. And here he comes. Luckily though, you just come straight out of the pit gate at Foxhall and you're there. Not quite the way at some places, for example, say Workington, where you've got to go round a big long track to get all the way down to the start. But here, no problem, straight out. And away we go. So, heat number 5, Ben Trigger, Jody Scott, Jake Mulford and Ashton Vale. 3 riders there are very handy indeed. Jody Scott and Jake Mulford winning their opening rides as well. This could be a tasty race as we head away from the start and into the first corner. I'm not exactly sure. There we go. We've got the pictures back now, and out in the lead there is the rider in white, Jake Mulford, who's ahead of Ben Trigger, who's in second place, and he's getting the better of Jody Scott in third. And Jody Scott is chasing down Ben Trigger now, but 3 riders have gone very well so far. Jake Mulford looking to stay on a max, but keep an eye on Jody Scott, who's turning up the heat on Ben Trigger in the closing stages of this heat. Into the final lap we go, but Ben Trigger's looking like he's got it under control in second place at the moment. Jody Scott, though, right on his back tyre. Ben Trigger can't make a mistake. Here comes Jody Scott round the outside. Jody Scott, though, well, he just drops away there, and he's not going to be able to mount that final attack. It is a win, though. 2 wins back-to-back for Jake Mulford, and he collects heat number 5. So 2 wins from 2 for Jake Mulford. Ben Trigger gets another second place, and third place was the rider in blue, Jody Scott, despite his best efforts. But for Jake Mulford, maximum man so far this evening. So, the results of heat number 5. A win for Jake Mulford. Ben Trigger was second, Jody Scott third, Ashton Vale fourth. The result of heat number 5. Apologies, we lost connection there with the main cameras, so we'll bring you a look at what happened in the opening lap there. And here it is again. I tell you, it's very hard to watch a speedway race when you're looking at the camera on the start line as they fly past very quickly, trying to work out who's where. But here's the opening lap. Good start from Ben Trigger up the inside. Round the outside comes Jake Mulford. And, well, he was pretty much uncatchable from there. And then the rest of the battle was for Jody Scott, trying to reel in Ben Trigger, but he couldn't manage to do that. So Jody Scott concedes a couple of points there, having started off with a win. And Jake Mulford still going well so far. So he's top of the tree on maximum points so far in this meeting. And now on to heat number 6. And there in white, we just heard him speaking to us, to Charlotte and Senna Summers, coming race at the start line for this one. And there is Steen Piper, who's working with one of the Great Britain team managers, Ollie Allen, in this meeting. So we'll see if Ollie's had any wise words to impart to Steen on this one. Here is the lineup for heat number 6. It's Steen Piper in red from gate number 1. Harrison Rogers in blue from gate number 2. Gate 3 in white is Senna Summers. And it's Ryan Ingram in yellow from gate number 4. Some handy National League talent on show in this one. And Harrison Rogers, unfortunately, he found himself hitting the deck in his first outing in heat number 3, so he's looking to get some points on the board as well. And this could be an opportunity, I suspect, looking at the lineup. I don't know which way this one will go. It's Senna Summers will probably fancy his chances, but Ryan Ingram also went well in his opening ride as well, so he could be one to watch off gate number 4. Riders coming down to take their place at the start now for heat number 6. Steen Piper, Harrison Rogers, Senna Summers and Ryan Ingram. And away from the start, into the first corner there. Good start from the rider in white. Senna Summers is there, but he's got competition around the outside. No holds barred stuff from Ryan Ingram. Held his nerve, went right up to the fence and capitalised. Takes the lead in heat number 6. Senna Summers in second place, and it's Steen Piper picking up the chase in third, but that was quite the first bend from Ryan Ingram. And certainly there was not much room for error in that one, getting around Senna Summers, but he had to go right up to the boards. Steen Piper now closing in a little on Senna Summers in the closing stages of this one, and the red lights are on. I think we must have a faller there with Harrison Rogers has gone missing in action. There he is. So yeah, unfortunate evening for Harrison Rogers, who's having a bit of a tough time in this meeting so far. But that was certainly a good start from Ryan Ingram in the original staging of that one, and breathtaking move around the outside of Senna Summers to get his job done. But unfortunately, Harrison Rogers' race is run in heat number 6. And actually, another of the riders who's part of that Kings Lynn Young Stars team who collected some silverware in 2025, but having a bit more of a difficult evening here at Foxhall tonight. So bikes being fueled back up again. And we'll go again with the restart of heat number 6 with 3 riders only, and Harrison Rogers will miss out. But Senna Summers made a good start. Ryan Ingram came and retook the position. Steen Piper was closing in as well on Senna Summers too. So just having a look at what's going on in the pits there, and riders getting ready for the next heat. And that is Ace Piper, who looks like he's getting ready to head out. I think that maybe that heat's been awarded, has it? Heat number 6. We'll bring up the result of that. Heat has been awarded in the end because they'd completed enough of it. So that will go down as a win for Ryan Ingram. Second place was Senna Summers, Steen Piper third, and Harrison Rogers, of course, excluded from that one. So heat number 6 awarded in the end, but a win for Ryan Ingram. Okay, this could be an interesting heat as well, actually. Quite a lot of experience in this one by comparison to some of the heats we'll see, because there is Cooper Rushen, who started off with a win in his opening rides. Took a few attempts to get that win, and it was, of course, just a 2-rider race in the end. So coming down to the tapes, he's going to have some tough competition. Here's the lineup for it. Cooper Rushen in red from gate number 1. Gate number 2 in blue is Vinnie Ford. Jamie Etherington in white from gate number 3. And off the outside in yellow is Ace Piper. So quite a tasty lineup, heat number 7. Vinnie Ford starting off with a win, as did Cooper Rushen. Ace Piper finished with a second place in his opening ride as well. So certainly this could shake things up as far as the leaderboard goes. And we'll have a look at that once the riders have completed 2 rides each. But I can tell you that Jake Mulford, of course, leading the way at the moment, whatever happens, because he's on maximum points so far. But Cooper Rushen or Vinnie Ford could join him up there as well on maximum points should they get a win in this one. But Jamie Etherington and Ace Piper will be looking to their maximum scores at this stage of the meeting, that's for sure. So then, on to heat number 7. Riders being way forwards. Approach sort of the halfway stage of the qualifying section of this 20 heat qualifier. Here we go. Cooper Russian, Vinnie Ford, Jamie Etherington and Ace Piper. This is heat number 7. And away from the tapes is that first corner, and Cooper Russian gets the drop on Vinnie Ford, but Vinnie Ford holding it up the inside line, down the back straight. Cooper Russian is ahead of Vinnie Ford, and Vinnie Ford really now has got a challenge on his hands, because Cooper Russian has got a lot of speed here, and he's completed the first lap and starting to pull away now from Vinnie Ford. Vinnie Ford certainly keeping on the pace. Third place is Ace Piper, who's battling for that third point. Fourth place is Jamie Etherington, who's a little way out the back now, but this is a fantastic ride from Cooper Russian, who's looking to keep on a full maximum and top of the score charts after 2 rides. Go and going well. A lot of excitement about Cooper Russian. Turned 16 at the end of March. A lot of clubs with their eye on him. Vinnie Ford's been riding with the Workington Comets through the course of this season. He's going to finish in second place. The win goes to Cooper Russian. He's on maximum points so far. And a fantastic ride there, getting ahead of Vinnie Ford and getting the work done inside the first lap, really, for Cooper Russian. And Vinnie Ford having to settle for second place in that one. Ace Piper coming in with the point as well. But Cooper Russian heads to the top of the charts in the qualifying heats. Here is the results of heat number 7. Cooper Russian with a win. Vinnie Ford second, Ace Piper third, Jamie Etherington fourth. And that's the results of heat 7. And top of the board at the moment, Jake Mulford and Cooper Russian leading the way. Here's a look back at the start. Cooper Russian getting out of that inside gate. Pins it to the inside line. Vinnie Ford also holding a tight inside line as well. Tries to mount an attack down the back straight. Can't quite match the speed of Cooper Russian there. And Cooper Russian closing the door around the inside line, closing off that first lap and then pulling away from Vinnie Ford, who made life pretty difficult for Vinnie there. Ace Piper finishing in third place. So we've got some more rides to come before everybody's on the equal amount of rides. And I just saw that they did take the tapes down, so I'm not sure if they're doing a bit of track grading or something at this point here now. The goggles are coming off, so I think they are have actually got the tractors out at this moment in time. We see the tapes are down, so might have a little bit of a break here. But here is a look at the scorecard so far. Now, not all riders have ridden equal amount of heats so far, but certainly the ones at the top part of this have had that. So Jake Mulford, he's on 6 points. Cooper Russian on 6. Maximum 2 wins back-to-back for them. Ryan Ingram has had a win and a second place, and he's on 5 points, along with Vinnie Ford. Jody Scott and Ben Trigger are in the qualifying positions at the moment. Ace Piper, Senna Summers, Ashton Vale, Jamie Etherington just outside those places at the moment. But 2 wins back-to-back and joint leader after 2 rides so far. Cooper Russian, we can hear from Cooper. He's in the pits with Charlotte Woolsey now.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. Cooper, paid maximum at the moment. You said this is a local track for you, but not too much experience. But how important is a night like tonight to learn?
Yeah, it's big because, like you said, it's my local club, so I'm going to want to do well here. It's my first year on the 500s this year, so just learning, trying different things, and made some changes for that heat too, and I think it's a little better. So that's all we can do. Keep adapting through the night.
What kind of changes did you make, and is it a team effort, or do you advise what you feel doesn't feel right on the bike at the time?
I advise and the mechanics do. No, it's a team effort pretty much, because most of the time, you've got back-to-back races and it can be stressful. So we just shortened it a little bit for that last one. I think maybe kill it off a little bit for this next one. Slicker than we thought, so that's what the learning's about. You've got to learn these conditions, and yeah, hopefully we can carry this on the rest of the night, but we'll see.
Absolutely. Well, best of luck. Thanks for talking.
Thank you.
Let's head out because they're on the track.
They are indeed. Bit of a quick track grade there. Good to hear from Cooper Russian, a real character coming through the ranks. He can ride a bike and he's got tassels. And frankly, what more do you need in the world of Speedway? He's bringing back the tassels. It's got to be a thing. On to heat number 8, and riders down at the tapes for this one. And here is the lineup for heat number 8. And the gates, inside gate number 1 in red is Geordie Loftus of the Edinburgh Monarchs. Jack Schmeltz is in blue from gate number 2, riding for the Bellevue Colts. Seth Norman, it's his 15th birthday today, so get yourself in the big stuff. And here he is, riding in heat number 8 in this one. And gate number 4 in yellow is Eli Meadows. Seth Norman had a bit of a tangle in his opening ride, got it a bit out of shape in the first bend. He was going big to try and get around Cooper Russian, who we just heard from, but ended up doing the full 360 instead. But hoping for better this time out, and he's coming from gate number 3 in his second outing here. So here we go, back in action. Heat number 8, Geordie Loftus, Jack Schmelt, Seth Norman and Eli Meadows. And away we go into this first corner, and firing off the outside gate there, Eli Meadows cuts right across, tight down the back straights here, and Geordie Loftus just seeing off the threat from Eli Meadows, who's in second place. Third place at the moment, Seth Norman working his way into things after the first lap. But the lead remains with Geordie Loftus, looking to get his first win on the boards here this evening at Foxhall. It's going very well. Obviously very used to, not that Ipswich is particularly a tight track, but used to riding Armadale in Edinburgh, which is a very technical track. So certainly looking at home around Foxhall, isn't he, Geordie Loftus, going well. Second place is Eli Meadows, ahead of Seth Norman and Jack Schmeltz out the back. Into the final lap we go. And Geordie Loftus, born an Australian, but with Welsh parentage, so British passport holder, representing Great Britain these days. Taking the checkered flag, Geordie Loftus wins the race. Second place is the rider in yellow, Eli Meadows. Seth Norman gets his first point on his 15th birthday as well, finishing in third. But Geordie Loftus making no mistake, really. Eli Meadows had a go in that opening bend or so, but Geordie Loftus had the speed and gets off the mark, and gets not just off the mark, but gets a win as well to get things moving. So here is the results of heat number 8. A win for Geordie Loftus. Eli Meadows was second, Seth Norman third, and Jack Schmeltz comes in fourth place. So I'll have a look back at the start here. It was a good start from a couple of riders, actually. Geordie Loftus makes a decent one, but firing off the outside, it was a brave effort there from Eli Meadows. Tries to fly across the pack and almost pays off, but Geordie Loftus just has that extra bit of speed and maybe just closes the door slightly on Eli Meadows and can't make the move that perhaps he was wanting to, but ends up settling into second place. But Geordie Loftus getting back in the game with 3 big points. And there is the bike of Jody Scott, which suggests that Jody Scott is out in heat number 9. And indeed he is. And this could be an interesting race as well, because Cooper Russian has been catching the attention. He's on a max so far. Jody Scott has dropped a couple of points in his last outing. Jody Scott, though, is still in the qualifying shake-up so far. Jake Mulford and Cooper Russian leading the way, both joint on 6 points, maximum points from their 2 rides. There's Ben Trigger, who's also going to be out very soon. We'll see him, Ben Trigger, in a few heats, actually. He's got a bit of a break, Ben Trigger, looking at it. I said he's out soon. He's actually not out till heat number 12. But this heat will be contested by Ryan Ingram, Eli Meadows, Jody Scott and Cooper Russian. So Eli Meadows got 2 rides back-to-back here. So that's why we've got a little bit of a break in proceedings in this one. So we'll be back in action in a couple of moments' time, just to give Eli Meadows just a chance to come to terms with things and get ready to come out, because he had a decent ride in his last outing there, 2 points. And he's going to have quite a tasty task on his hands here, because he's got Jody Scott and Cooper Russian in it, and Jody Scott looking to make up for, and there is Jody Scott in the white helmet colour, just heading out to have a look at the track, and obviously conceded a couple of points in his last outing. He'll be looking to get some more points on the board and keep himself in the running for things. We're just looking at there is another little battle going on in this meeting as well this evening, and that is the battle for the pairings as well. Because the riders are paired up with each other. So looking at the pairings again, and they're not riding in pairs now, but they will be potentially later on. So Cooper Rush and Eli Meadows are paired up. Jody Scott and Seth Norman are paired up. Ace Piper and Harrison Rogers are a pair. Ben Trigger and Geordie Loftus. Jake Mulford and Jack Schmeltz. Ashton Vale and Ryan Ingram. Vinnie Ford and Senna Summers. And Jamie Etherington and Steen Piper. So they're all paired up in theory at least, and obviously not riding together all the time, but whichever of those pairings ends up collecting the most points through the individual part of the meeting, they'll come out and race as a pair as a final race here at Foxhall this evening. So, will that man be involved? Certainly you'd think at the moment he's got a good chance of it, because he's the joint leader of things at this moment in time. Cooper Russian up there with Jake Mulford, 2 wins from 2, 6 points on the board. And, well, you can tell he's sort of revelling in the conditions a little bit here. Bit of extra pressure on him in this one. This could be a sort of a tougher race, I think, perhaps for Cooper Russian up against Jody Scott. But the 2 riders there that we're talking about coming off the outside gate. But that's not to write off, of course, Ryan Ingram, who's been going well. Eli Meadows as well. We saw what he can do in the last outing. Got himself a couple of points. Hits the lineup. Heat number 9, Ryan Ingram from gate number 1 in red. Gate number 2 in blue is Eli Meadows. Gate 3 in white is Jody Scott, and Cooper Russian in yellow from gate number 4. Bit of a Leicester fest, this one, as you can see, with Ryan Ingram, Eli Meadows and Cooper Russian. Leicester versus Oxford. And Leicester certainly will probably end up with a heat advantage, I suspect, in this one. Leicester riding their last National Development League meeting at the weekend, and Seth Norman, who's also in the lineup here today, he'll be making his National League debut, celebrating his 15th birthday today, but first official league action coming up this weekend. So here we go. This could be an interesting one. Heat number 9, Ryan Ingram, Eli Meadows, Jody Scott and Cooper Russian. Cooper Russian unbeaten so far. Can he maintain that? Here we go. Green lights on. Oh! And drama. Jody Scott, I think it was, that popped through the tapes there. We'll have a look back and see what happened in that one, but it certainly looked to me like it was Jody Scott who popped. Let's have a look. Yeah, I think that's an open and shut case, to be honest. So, bad times for Jody Scott. Certainly that is going to make Cooper Russian's task a little bit easier in the restart. But, yeah, the little nerves twitching away there. We haven't seen the end of Jody Scott, though, because he will go off 15 metres. So that is maybe going to raise the stakes slightly, but can Jody Scott get into the scoring positions? Cooper Russian there with Chris Louis as his mentor. He's a relatively local lad, is Cooper Russian, to the Ipswich track, I guess, Colchester, which is not too far away. Relatively down the road in Speedway terms. Certainly getting himself on the radar of the Ipswich Witches with a performance like this so far. 2 wins from 2, looking to maintain the charge. But there's Jody Scott heading back into the pits. And maybe there's some drama with the bike there. A bit of action going on. But as far as we understand, he is due to be going off 15 metres in the restart of this. Let's have a look back at what happened there. Maybe there's something further wrong with the bike, I'm not sure, but the bike certainly takes off. And Jody Scott back into the pits. Meanwhile, the rest of the riders are getting ready to go. Jody Scott's preparing the second bike by the look of it, so obviously some mechanical dramas going on. Danny King is in Jody Scott's corner. And Danny King, of course, a teammate of Jody Scott for the Red Car Bears, so the two know each other very well. Danny King helping sort the bike out and prepare Jody Scott's machinery to head back out on the track here and see if he can put a show on and see if he can get into the points from a 15-metre handicap. But certainly Cooper Russian will be looking to capitalise on that advantage with having no rider directly next to him off that outside gate. Ryan Ingram and Eli Meadows, though, could throw a potential spanner in the works into that first corner. You never know, but we've certainly got a bit of last-minute work going on in the pits for the Jody Scott bike, and all hands to the pump in this one. And I think, frantic work going on to get the bike ready to head out on track. So looks like there are some issues with the bike, whether that's clutch related, I'm not sure, but a few last minute changes. So work's going on. Meanwhile, out on track, you can see Ollie Allen and Chris Louis on a little chat before their respective riders do battle. Chris Louis helping out Cooper Russian. Danny King, as we saw, helping out Jody Scott. Here's a look at the scorecard where we're at the moment, and Cooper Russian due to come out in this one. He'll be off the outside gate. One of the joint leaders at the moment with Jake Mulford at the top of the charts. And this will be Cooper Russian's third ride. So if he does get the points on the board, he could well be heading to the top. Ryan Ingram is also in the shake-up at the top of things as well. He's on 5 points from his opening 2 rides. Jody Scott is going to be going off that 15-metre handicap. You can see why it's important to him to get some points on the board. He's still in the qualifying places at the moment. He's in 5th. Ben Trigger in 6th place at the minute. So finishing in the top 6 is what you're looking to achieve to move through to the next stage of the meeting. I'm told, courtesy of Dan Jilks, thanks Dan, that the clutch cable has snapped on Jody Scott's bike. That's why the bike took off. It wasn't a voluntary thing. The clutch cable snapped, and that's what they're doing, and that's what they're sorting out there at the moment. So thanks, Dan. Bit of insight there from in the pits. As the riders are pushing off now for the restart of this heat number 9. So you can see a bit of a change to the lineup at the tapes here, because with a rider going off the 15-metre handicap, as Jody Scott's going to do, everybody moves over one. So Jody Scott will be going off the outside there. So just correct that graphic in your mind. So Ryan Ingram is off the inside gate in red. Gate number 2 in blue is Eli Meadows. And Jody Scott and Cooper Russian have swapped over. So Jody Scott's going off gate number 3. Cooper Russian's going off gate number 3, and Jody Scott going off gate number 4 on a 15-metre handicap. So that's the usual thing that happens in this sort of situation where you've got a rider going off that 15-metre handicap. Everybody usually just shuffles over a little bit. But, Jody Scott there, a snapped clutch cable, which has had to be fixed on the bike. And now we'll be going from that 15 metres back, just out of your picture there to the right. You can just see the marker maybe on the track, right up by the fence. And you'll have 4 laps to try and chase down the 3 riders that are going from the tapes. So here we go. It's Ryan Ingram, Eli Meadows and Cooper Russian. And Jody Scott will be firing into things from just out of your picture. Here we go. Heat number 9. And away we go. It is a good start from the inside there. Ryan Ingram starting well. Cooper Russian pitting it to the outside. And Cooper Russian flies round Ryan Ingram and takes the lead, looking to maintain his maximum start to this meeting, his 3rd ride, and looking for 3 wins, and looking to march to the top of the table at this stage of the meeting. And he's going well, Cooper Russian, leaving Ryan Ingram behind now, and moving through into 3rd place is Jody Scott, who's managed to come round, and we've got some mechanical problems there for Eli Meadows, who's pulled up at the back. But Jody Scott, starting off a 15-metre handicap, has got himself into the points, at least 1 point coming his way. Final lap as we go. Cooper Russian, though, is really taking command of this meeting here at Foxhall Stadium. He's looking for 3 wins out of 3. Jody Scott now closing in on Ryan Ingram in the closing bend. I think he might just run out of track slightly, but Jody Scott giving it all he's got down to the checkered flag. And it's a 3rd place for Jody Scott in the end. Ryan Ingram holding on to 2nd place. But the story out front, Cooper Russian, 3 wins from 3, and he is the man to beat. so far this evening here at Foxhall Stadium. Maximum points for Cooper Russian, and certainly looks to be heading to the final stages of this particular meeting. Here is the result. A win for Cooper Russian, Ryan Ingram second, Jody Scott third, Eli Meadows fourth. The result of heat number 9 in the Tigers Academy Open. So, yeah, Cooper Russian doing what he had to do. Ryan Ingram making a decent start off the inside. But then it was Cooper Russian getting the job done round the outside here. And after that, he was pretty much uncatchable. Jody Scott moving through eventually into third place, but mechanical issues for Eli Meadows. Well, later on at least anyway, the bike does give up and he doesn't finish the race. On to heat number 10 then. Jake Mulford out in this one. He's seen what Cooper Russian has done. And actually, Ryan Ingram there with the 2 points in that last heat. He's very much in the mix as well. He's on 7 points from 3 rides, Ryan Ingram. So very much in the mix. And Jake Mulford here, he's also on maximum points so far from his 2 rides. He's on 6 points. Cooper Russian on 9. So Jake Mulford there in the blue helmet colour looking to, well, if he needs another win, he needs another win to continue marching on. But this is not going to be a necessarily easy heat, actually. Here is the lineup for heat number 10. And Seth Norman is coming off the inside gate in red. Gate number 2 in blue is Jake Mulford. Vinnie Ford in white from gate number 3. And off the outside in yellow is Senna Summers. But a bit of a side note on this. We've obviously got this pairs matchup going on at the moment as well. And looking at the pairs, and Vinnie Ford and Senna Summers are actually paired together, and they're currently sitting second. So they're on course to qualify at this moment in time. But they need more points yet. Got a bit of a way to go, but they're in the mix for that. So there's also that. So they're looking for points for that reason as well. But Jake Mulford looking for maximum points here to keep himself on a maximum and join Cooper Russian at the top of the qualifying table. Here we go, heat 10. The tapes rise on this one, heading into the first corner. It's a good start from Vinnie Ford. He's up the inside of Jake Mulford, but Jake Mulford is in the lead, pulling away down the back straights here in the first lap at Foxhall. Settling into second place is Vinnie Ford. Seth Norman in third, getting the better over Senna Summers as well on his 15th birthday. Seth Norman getting in the points in this 10th heat, but Jake Mulford, well, he needed a big ride to keep himself at the top of the table, but he can do more, but no more than score maximum points. That's what he's on course for. Got a bit of a race maybe opening up here between Seth Norman and Senna Summers. Senna Summers trying to close the gap on Seth Norman there in third place. Into the final lap we go of this one, and Jake Mulford looking to continue with maximum points in his opening ride. Still battling away at the back there, Senna Summers and Seth Norman in the closing stages, but Seth Norman looks like he's going to bag the solitary point there for third place. Indeed, he does that ahead of Senna Summers, but a win for Jake Mulford. Continues on maximum points from his opening 3 rides. Vinnie Ford finishing in second place, and it was Seth Norman ahead of Senna Summers in the end as well. So the leaderboard looking to starting to take shape, and no stopping Jake Mulford and Cooper Russian so far, both with 3 wins from 3. Here's the results of that heat there, heat number 10, and a win for Jake Mulford. Vinnie Ford second, Seth Norman third, Senna Summers fourth, and Jake Mulford joins Cooper Russian at the top of the charts. The top 2 will qualify directly for the final, and Cooper Russian and Jake Mulford, the only 2 riders who can max out in this particular meeting now. But from the start there, Jake Mulford getting his job done very quick from the start. Looked like Vinnie Ford might be able to find a way up the inside potentially if Jake Mulford made a mistake, but Jake Mulford didn't make a mistake, and from there on it was pretty hard for Vinnie Ford. Bit of a battle unfolding at the back. So yeah, that moves Jake Mulford and Cooper Russian level on points. Vinnie Ford with his 2 points in that one. He's in the qualifying section as well for the individual event to get through to the final. So he'd be in the semi-final, the last chance semi-final as it stands, but still 2 rides to go. So a few twists and turns ahead, but that leaderboard starting to take shape now. So we've got 2 brothers racing against each other in this one, with Ace Piper and Steen Piper racing. The Piper boys. Here is the lineup for heat number 11. It's Jack Schmeltz from gate number 1 in red. Ashton Vale is in blue from gate number 2. Gate 3 in white is Ace Piper. And off the outside in yellow, his brother, Steen Piper. And both of the Pipers there race for the Middlesbrough Tigers in the National Development League. But Ace Piper riding also for the Redcar Bears as well in the Cab Direct Championship. Big week ahead with the BSN Series final ahead, and then the 2 Piper boys heading off to ride in the Netherlands as well. I know we've got some Dutch viewers watching on this evening with interest as well, to give them a bit of give you a bit of a flavour of what to expect this weekend if you're heading to that fixture. So then, riders down at the tapes to get us underway for heat number 11. Jack Schmelt in red, Ashton Vale in blue, Ace Piper in white and Steen Piper in yellow. Tapes rise on the run to that first corner. A good start from Ace Piper there. Makes no mistake out of the start and looking for his first win of the night so far. It's a good start from Ace Piper. Second place is Jack Schmelt, who's looking to get his first points on the board here this evening as well. And picking up into third place is Steen Piper, but his brother Ace is leading the race at the moment and looking to get his first win on the board. Going well out front, and maybe a battle will hot up for that second place at the moment. Steen Piper coming on and turning up the heat on Jack Schmelt there in second place, and Steen Piper holding that inside line. Jack Schmelt coming back round the outside. It's very close between these two. The race for second place, and also Ashton Vale is there to sweep up any mistakes as well. Coming round for the final time in this one, Ace Piper is well gone. Oh, and Jack Schmelt has some issues and he's packed up, and that allows Steen Piper to move through. And he takes second place. It's going to be a Piper 1-2. Ace with the win. Second place for Steen. And coasting over the line, Ashton Vale for third place. But disaster there for Jack Schmelt. It looked like he was going to get his first points on the board. Mechanical issues, though, wiping that out. But Ace Piper gets his first win and moves on to 6 points as a result. And his brother Steen also in the mix as well in second place. And here's the result of heat number 11, a win for Ace Piper, Steen Piper second, Ashton Vale third, and Jack Schmelt fourth. The result of heat number 11. So that moves Ace Piper into the qualifying spots as well, into the top 6. Here's a look back at the start. Great start from Ace Piper. Makes no mistake whatsoever, and throws down the gauntlet to the rest of the riders in the heat. And a good battle there unfolding between Steen Piper and Jack Schmelt, but Jack Schmelt seemed to have it under control in second place and was going pretty well until he wasn't, until the bike packed up, and Steen Piper there ready to capitalise. He was closing in a little bit on Jack Schmelt throughout. I'm not sure he would have necessarily got round him had Jack's bike not have given up at the wrong moment there, but for Ace Piper, rides a good race and gets his first win on the board. So that throws Ace Piper very much into the mix. And the top 6 starting to form a little bit now. On to heat number 12. Another rider, well, a couple of riders actually, that could throw themselves into contention here with a win or at least a couple of points in the form of Ben Trigger and Geordie Loftus. They'll be going side by side from the inside 2 gates there. And Ben Trigger is just outside the qualifying spots at the moment with a ride in hand. So some points on the board here would get him into that top 6. Here is the lineup. Ben Trigger from gate number 1 in red. Gate number 2 in blue is Geordie Loftus. Harrison Rogers in white from gate number 3. And Jamie Etherington in yellow from gate number 4. So, yeah, certainly keep an eye on these riders on the inside two gates. Could really throw themselves into the mix. We've got also Harrison Rogers. Harrison Rogers at the moment looking to get any points on the board. He's had two rides, 2 falls so far. Not been the ideal start to the evening for him. This is 3rd ride. And Jamie Etherington has got 1 point on the board so far. So a couple of these riders hopefully looking to add to their score, or should hopefully be guaranteed to add to their score, provided they finish the race. We've got the tapes have just gone up there for some reason. And down. But yeah, Ben Trigger and Geordie Loftus. This could be a match-up, and really racing to get themselves in the qualifying mix in this individual event. Also, there is a bit of a pairs element later on as well. But right now, here we go with heat number 12. The tapes rise, heading into this first corner. It's a good start from Ben Trigger. Gets away first. Geordie Loftus trying to squeeze up the inside, but it's Ben Trigger back round the outside and trying to pull away here from Geordie Loftus, who's keeping the pressure on Ben Trigger. Good race unfolding out front here, but Ben Trigger doing well so far in this heat, and Ben Trigger looking for his first win. He's had 2 second places so far. Geordie Loftus of the Edinburgh Monarchs and the Monarchs Academy keeping the pressure on Ben Trigger out front. 3rd place is Jamie Etherington. Harrison Rogers, I'm not sure where he is, if he's still in the race at the moment or not, but certainly he is just about in the race there out the back at the moment in 4th place. Coming round to start the final lap though, Ben Trigger on course for his first win of the evening. Geordie Loftus looking to pick up another couple of points as well. That will keep him in the hunts with a couple of rides still in the bag yet for him to come. Taking the checkered flag, a win for Ben Trigger. 2nd place is Geordie Loftus. And Jamie Etherington 3rd, Harrison Rogers 4th. And now all riders have had an equal amount of rides. But a first win there for Ben Trigger, and that actually relegates Jody Scott out of the qualifying positions, is the net result of that one. Jody Scott there with 5 points at the moment. Ben Trigger moves on to 7. Ace Piper on 6. We'll have a look at the top 6 in a moment, but Ben Trigger with the win there. Geordie Loftus 2nd, Jamie Etherington 3rd, Harrison Rogers 4th. The result of heat number 12. And out of the tapes here, and away we go. Good start from Ben Trigger. Makes no mistake off the inside gate. Geordie Loftus holding the inside line. But back comes Ben Trigger. And then from there on, it's pretty much a flavour of the race, really. Geordie Loftus keeping the pressure on. A couple of points there for Geordie Loftus. Keeps him in the hunt. He's just out of the qualifying positions at the moment, but we can have a look at how the scores are looking so far. So top of the pops, we've got Jake Mulford on 9 points, 3 wins from 3 rides. Cooper Russian, 3 wins from 3 as well. So those two are currently in the automatic qualifying positions, of course. They can do no better than what they've done. Vinnie Ford, Ryan Ingram, Ben Trigger and Ace Piper make up the rest of the top 6. And just outside those places, Geordie Loftus and Jody Scott. Jody Scott relegated out of that top 6 by Ben Trigger with that win that he just got there. Senna Summers, Steam Piper, Eli Meadows making up the rest of the pack just outside. So then, he's out there leading the race at the moment. We can hear now from Jake Mulford in the pits with Charlotte Woolsey.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. Jake, doing well tonight, and you're one of the more experienced riders in the pits tonight, and I noticed a lot of the riders are actually coming to you for a little bit of advice. So what are you able to share?
Well, I'm trying not to share too much to the other riders, because just in case one of them does beat me, but yeah, it's good, it's nice, because it's not, in a way, it's less pressure, so I think everyone's more chilled out. Yeah, it's good.
And I noticed you were speaking to your mentor Cam earlier, pointed a bit at the track. What have you noticed that has caught your eye?
Oh, well, it's just I'm gate 4 next, and there's obviously that's like the racing line, so all the dirt has disappeared from there. So yeah, it's just figuring out many different scenarios of what to do to the bike. So I think it's going to be hard off the start, and yeah, the starts are pretty important.
But feeling confident for the rest of the night?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, you've always got to be confident. So, yeah, I'll try and keep my confidence up. And there's some hard races now coming up. And, yeah, hopefully in the end, I have enough points for the final. And, yeah, we'll just try our best.
Well, thanks for chatting. Best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's head back up to Ian in commentary.
Yeah, thanks, Charlotte. Yeah, going well for Jake Mulford. He and Cooper Russian unbeaten so far. Vinnie Ford, Ryan Ingram, Ben Trigger and Ace Piper also in the qualifying places at the moment. Geordie Loftus, Jodie Scott. Senna Summers just outside there as well. Steam Piper. Still got 2 rides left to go. And the top 2 in the qualifying positions will head through to the final. Then we will have a semi-final, a bit of a last chance qualifier, whatever you want to call it. And they will then, the remaining positions 3 to 6 will race off, and the top 2 in that will go through to join whoever is at the top of the table. But Jake Mulford and Cooper Russian are the riders to beat so far. Welcome along to this feed from BSN and the Ipswich Witches as we bring you coverage of the Tigers Academy Open, which is a special meeting that's been held at Foxhall Stadium at Ipswich, and it features some of the upcoming riders looking to make their way. Some riders that you will be familiar with, some that you won't be, some that you might not be familiar with now, but give it a year or two, you very much will be. One of those, potentially, is Seth Norman. He's celebrating his 15th birthday today, and he's getting straight stuck into the 500cc action. He's in the pits right now with Charlotte Woolsey.
Thanks, Ian. Firstly, Seth, happy birthday. It's your first night on a 500cc. How are you feeling?
I'm feeling alright. I think I got a little bit unlucky in my first one where I made the start and then just got a bit too excited and I tried to ride it a bit like my 250, but we're having a good night so far, I think.
Well, how is it different for you jumping from the 250 to 500? What are you learning so far?
So far I'm learning not to sit back too early and it's not as bad as everyone says.
Okay, well, hopefully your birthday continues to bring you luck. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's head up to commentary because I think we're about to go racing.
Yeah, hopefully we will be going racing very soon. And there is Seth Norman going well, and he's making his National League debut at the weekend as well, riding for Leicester Lion Cubs. So he's been the mascot for Leicester for a long time, has Seth Norman. And, you know, you see the kids going round before the meetings on their bikes and all that. And here he is progressing through, doing the youth championship stuff, which is maybe things that a lot of people don't see. And here he is heading into the real stuff at the weekend. There's Tom Brennan, and he's helping out Senna Summers in the pits. Mitch McDermott there as well, and Luke Colleen. Getting their hands dirty on the spanners with Senna Summers. And, Tom Brennan there with a bit of advice. Tom Brennan, of course, one of the title winners for the Ipswich Witches a week ago at Foxhall. But right now, helping the next generation. And, and riders that you might have been watching racing for Oxford getting involved on the spanners with their Chargers teammate there as well. So all hands to the pump. I know people, I've seen a few comments on saying, I can't believe how many people these riders, even though the youngsters, have around them. But it's team camaraderie, isn't it? You know, a lot of these guys would just be sat in the stand watching otherwise, but they want to get involved and support their friends, get their hands dirty. And I think this is the thing with Speedway. A lot of people, if when it comes to being, a mechanic in Speedway or a rider, I think quite often you're drawn to it, whether you like it or not. You sort of gravitate towards the spanners, and before you know it, you've got a chain in your hand or what have you. And there we see Tom Brennan helping out elsewhere in the pits. Tom Brennan is helping a couple of riders. He's working with Vinnie Ford, and also been helping out Senna Summers, but also offering his further advice there to Jamie Etherington, I think, as well. So he's going to be heading out for this next heat. Thanks for watching, wherever you're watching, whether you're on YouTube. You can watch us on the BSN YouTube or the Ipswich Witches YouTube or on the Facebook page as well. Welcome along. If this is your first experience of BSN, this is a sort of a light experience of BSN. It's not the full show. We'll be back with the big stuff tomorrow at Glasgow. for the grand final in the Cab Direct Championship. You can watch all the full 15 heats there as the title gets sorted out. The Poole Pirates 12 points ahead. The Glasgow Tigers on home shale at Ashfield. That's tomorrow night from 7 o'clock. Join us at Ashfield for that. But right now, we're looking at the future of Speedway in Tigers Academy Open, named after John Tiger Louis, the dad of Chris Louis we just saw there in the background. And while we're waiting for the bikes to push off for this next heat, let's hear from a rider who'll be involved very soon. Vinnie Ford is with Charlotte in the pits.
Thanks, Ian. Yeah, with Vinnie. Good night so far for you, and you had been busy lately. Did really well in the under-19s, just missed out. But how's your season going?
Yeah, it's been a bit of an up and down season, really. Obviously, yeah, that was a shame the other day. But yeah, it's in the past now. I'm obviously still a bit gutted about it, but yeah, it's in the past now, and I just got to keep looking forward. And I've got a few meetings left, so I just get my head down and try and bang in as many points as I can.
You've got Tom as your mentor. Good around here, definitely. So how's that helping tonight?
Yeah, it's been brilliant. I'm pretty good mates with Tom as well, so it's working well. And yeah, he definitely knows how to get the bike dialed in.
What's he been able to share for you?
Pretty much everything. Mechanical side of things is I'm sort of turn up here and maybe scratch my head sort of thing. After the last time I was here, the track's completely changed. It's gone from ridiculously deep to slicker, so he knew what he's doing with that, and yeah, he's getting the bike set up perfectly, and now it's just down onto me.
Well, best of luck. You're getting there tonight, so good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Let's head back up to commentary with Ian.
Yeah, thanks, Charlotte. Certainly a battler, isn't he? Vinnie Ford came very close to winning the under-19 title, agonising. The engine went pop, and that was the end of his chances. But he was a lap or so away from winning the title there the other day at Workington. Still in the mix here, though. He's in third place after 3 rides as we head into the 4th block of heats now. Thanks for getting in touch with us. If you are on Facebook, you can leave us a message. Simon Lambert himself has been in touch. I think this is brilliant from both Ipswich Speedway and the BSN crew. Fair play, backing British. Well done all. Cheers, Simon. And I have Steve Wright as well, who says, great to see the youngsters giving it their all. I'm looking forward to Ashfield tomorrow. Yep, thanks for joining us. And we've got some big heats of Speedway to come. Here is the lineup for heat number 13. And Jamie Etherington is in red from gate number 1. Gate number 2 in blue is Seth Norman. Gate 3 in white, Steen Piper. And from gate number 4 in yellow is Jody Scott. Big heat this, particularly for Jody Scott, who's out of the qualifying places at the moment. Started off well, started with a win. 2 third places since then, though. Leaves him on 5 points. And 6 gets you into the qualifiers after the last lot of heats. Of course, everybody's got to have a ride yet, so really, with 2 heats left to go, Jody Scott needs to get some points on the board, you would suggest, in this one. So, riders down at the tapes. Jamie Etherington, Seth Norman, Steen Piper and Jody Scott. Heat number 13. Oh, and the tapes go up at one side but not the other, so we'll be going again on that one. Not an ideal start there, so a bit of a malfunction. We'll get that sorted out and we'll be starting again. But let's have a look at the start there again. I think we can see, yeah, one of those really. So need to put a knot in the tapes and we'll be going again. But certainly that benefited the riders off the inside, fair to say on that one. So we've got 2 rides left yet for each of the riders in the individual. We've also got the pairings as well to look at, and we'll bring you a look at who's leading that very soon. But certainly Jake Mulford and Cooper Russian leading the way in the individual event. So I'm just looking at the pairings here. So Jake Mulford and Ben Trigger are leading the way in the pairs. Pair number 3 is Ace Piper and Cooper Russian are currently in 2nd place. So they will be the pairs that will be meeting each other as it stands, I think. So number 5, yeah, Jake Mulford and Ben Trigger. And pair 3, which is Ace Piper and Cooper Russian, are leading the way. But that can change as well. Apparently it's Ben Trigger and Geordie Loftus who are the other pair. So I've got a really complicated spreadsheet, I'll be honest with you. And I'm not really the best with spreadsheets, as people who know me will, yeah. So, yeah, okay. I'm reading the wrong column, that's all that is. So, yeah, Geordie Loftus. So, we'll keep an eye on that. We will have a final pairs race at the end. And that'll be after, I think, the final. We've got the final, semi-final and final of the individual to come as well. So, bit of work going on the tapes. Just getting them knotted back together once again. And we'll be ready to get back in business. Some interesting heats coming up, because next up we've got Cooper Russian will be out and up against Ben Trigger, who, of course, is going well as well. He's also in the qualifying spots at the moment, but Cooper Russian unbeaten so far. And then heat number 15 will feature Jake Mulford, who's also unbeaten. And he's got Ace Piper and Eli Meadows and Harrison Rogers in his heat. And heat number 16 as well, Geordie Loftus and Vinnie Ford, all two riders who are also battling for the last chance qualifying spots and finishing in the top 6. So certainly can have a bit of a bearing on how things are going to go in those qualifying places. There's Ace Piper just having a cheeky look there at that particular gate, and just I think having a look at it on behalf of his brother, actually, because Steen is coming from gate number 3. Ace offering a bit of advice. Ace, one of the Speedway riders who is adopting the tape on the nose fashion, which is sweeping Speedway at the moment. A few riders putting these things on the nose. It's supposed to let you breathe easier, I think. Assuming that's where it's from, it's not just a piece of like gaffer tape or something. But here we go then. Riders pushing off for the restart of heat number 13. We've got the tapes fixed, and we'll have another go. There is Ben Trigger ahead of his ride next in heat number 14, watching on. And he's been going well, Ben Trigger. 2 second places and a win in his last outing. 7 points. Been a solid start for Ben Trigger. Can he continue the momentum in his next outing? We're about to find out shortly. So riders down at the tapes now for a restart of heat number 13. And here is a reminder of the lineup. Jamie Etherington in red from gate number 1. Gate number 2 in blue is Seth Norman. Gate number 3 in white is Steen Piper, and Jody Scott in yellow from gate number 4. And Jody Scott did have a bit of an altercation with the tapes himself on his last outing when his clutch cable snapped, which sent him through the tapes. But, hoping for a little less drama in this one. Started off with a win, 2 third places, and looking to get some more points on the board to get himself into contention as well. Heat number 13. Away we go, and flying from the outside there. What a start from Jody Scott. Makes no mistake, straight across the pack, and he's really taken this one by the scruff of the neck. Jody Scott in the lead. Second place is Jamie Etherington. Coming on round the outside, Seth Norman trying to reel in Jamie Etherington there, who's looking good in second place at the moment. Seth Norman just trying to keep pace, but maybe slipping back a little bit. He's got Steen Piper behind him, battling for that third place at the moment. But certainly no problems out front for Jody Scott. No mistake this time. Going well, looking solid, and pulling away down the back straight. There is a race unfolding there for third place, though, and it's Seth Norman who's ahead at the moment. Steen Piper keeping the pressure on, coming up the inside. Into the final lap we go here, but Seth Norman looking to add another point to his collection here. A steady start to the evening. Steen Piper up the inside. Seth Norman keeping the gas wound on down to the checkered flag. Taking the checkered flag is Jody Scott. He wins the heat, close down to the finish line. But Seth Norman bags a third place there ahead of Steen Piper in the end of heat number 13. But for Jody Scott, an important win there in that particular heat. Running definitely, with Jamie Etherington in second place. Third was Seth Norman. Here is the full results. Jody Scott the winner, Jamie Etherington second, Seth Norman third, Steen Piper fourth. And that gets Jody Scott very much back in the hunt on 8 points with a ride to go. But makes a strong start from the outside gate there. Cutting across the pack, pulling round and heading down the back straight. And looking sharp. And then a bit of a battle at the back unfolding a little bit later on between Seth Norman and Steam Piper. But Steam Piper couldn't really find a way past Seth Norman in the end. And Seth Norman's 15th birthday celebrations continue with another point on the board. 3 points for Seth Norman so far. Okay, as away we go then, and riders coming down to the tapes for heat number 14. Here's the lineup. Senna Summers in red from gate number 1. Gate number 2 in blue is Ben Trigger. Jack Schmeltz in white from gate 3, and off the outside in yellow is the unbeaten Cooper Russian. Maximum points, 3 rides, 3 wins, and he comes from gate number 4. Ben Trigger, though, could potentially be a spoiler here. He's not far behind. He's only dropped a couple of points. He's on 7 points so far. Ben Trigger with 2 second places and a win. Out now for his 4th ride. But Cooper Russian looking to continue his perfect start to the meeting. Just Cooper and Jake Mulford, who'll be out in the next heat, are completely unbeaten so far. And looking to secure a place in the at least in the top 6 here with a win in this one, and looking to continue with maximum points to see him automatically through to the grand final as well. So a fair way to go yet for many of these riders. Their 4th outing, and it's heat number 14. Senna Summers, Ben Trigger, Jack Schmeltz and Cooper Russian. Away we go, down to the start of the first corner there. It's a good start from Ben Trigger. He's in the lead early on. Cooper Russian building some speed up down the back straight, and Cooper Russian's going to have to work for this one because Ben Trigger's away. Cooper Russian up the inside of Ben Trigger. Cooper Russian gets out of shape, rescues it. What a save that was from Cooper Russian, and maintains focus on the bike, and now picks up the chase again on Ben Trigger, who's in the lead and looking to block the copybook there that's been perfect so far of Cooper Russian, who's going to give this all he's got for the remaining couple of laps in heat number 14. But Ben Trigger is away, pulling away from Cooper Russian now. Cooper Russian looked like he was going to mount an attack there until he got it out of shape. Into the final lap we go, and Ben Trigger is looking to get himself firmly in command of things for him in the top 6 in the qualifying stages of this meeting, and round for the final time. Cooper Russian's there and breathing down his neck, but a shake of the head there. Knows that mistake has cost him definitely, and Ben Trigger gets the better of Cooper Russian. And he's happy with that, as you can well imagine. Good ride there from Ben Trigger. Cooper Russian doing all he could, chasing down Ben Trigger, just ran out of race really before he could make a move. But Ben Trigger celebrating on one wheel and is in double figures, and Ben Trigger now, for the time being at least, moves into the automatic qualifying spots. So Ben Trigger with the win, Cooper Russian second. It was Senna Summers in third and Jack Schmeltz 4th. How things finished in heat number 14. So with that, Ben Trigger actually moves into the qualifying spots at the expense of Jake Mulford, but Jake Mulford has a ride in hand. Jake Mulford needs a couple of points and he'll retake that position. But here's a look back at the opening lap here. Good start from Ben Trigger. Cooper Russian very much coming into it. Tassels flailing everywhere. It's all going well for Cooper Russian. He's up the inside of Ben Trigger, coming out of the bend though. And then we get lift off. And how he saved it, I don't know. But great skills. Cooper Russian saves it and ends up finishing with second place. Try as he might on Ben Trigger. Couldn't find a way past. But a good little race there. So then, we only have one remaining unbeaten rider. And that rider is out in this one. Heat number 15. And Jake Mulford, unbeaten so far. 3 rides, 3 wins. And he's actually up against one of his red car teammates in this one, Ace Piper. will be a rider who's looking to spoil that perfect record for Jake Mulford in this one. But Jake Mulford will be coming off the outside gate there, as we can see. Here is the full lineup for Heat 15. And it's Eli Meadows in red from gate number 1. Ace Piper will be in blue from gate number 2. Harrison Rogers is in white from gate number 3. And gate 4 in yellow is Jake Mulford. The lineup for heat number 15. If Ace Piper can get a point at least on this one, that'll get him for the time being at least into the top 6 as well, where he needs to be. Certainly a couple of points here would keep him in the hunt with a ride to go for the qualifying spots. But certainly Ben Trigger has come into things. Steady start with a couple of second places, but those 2 wins back-to-back have certainly thrown him very much into contention with a ride left in the bag. Here is the lineup now for heat number 15. Eli Meadows, Ace Piper, Harrison Rogers and Jake Mulford. Tapes rise, heading into the first corner. Jake Mulford firing off gate number 4 there, cuts across the pack. And Jake Mulford is looking to maintain his perfect record in this meeting so far. The chase being picked up by Ace Piper in second place. Third is Eli Meadows. But it's these 2 riders out front, 2 teammates for the Red Car Bears. But Jake Mulford is going well, hasn't dropped a point so far tonight. Been riding, of course, in SGP2. He's had some duties for the under-24s, under-21s for Great Britain as well, riding in SON2. He's had a very busy time at the top level of Speedway. But Ace Piper certainly keeping the pressure on his teammate here in Jake Mulford. Jake Mulford certainly can't afford to make a mistake because Ace Piper is breathing all over him, but just has the speed to keep Ace Piper at bay at the moment. Coming around this third and fourth turn, taking the checkered flag. It is maximum points so far for Jake Mulford. Going well and just holds Ace Piper at bay. Third place was Eli Meadows and Harrison Rogers in fourth place. But good ride there, did what he needed to do from the start. Jake Mulford off the outside gate, and there it is. 4 rides, 4 wins, 12 points on the board for Jake Mulford, who's cruising in this meeting at the moment and leading the way. So there's a result. Jake Mulford with the win, Ace Piper second, Eli Meadows third, Harrison Rogers fourth. And the result of Heat 15 means that Jake Mulford and Cooper Russian are leading with 1 ride to go. And that will not change in the remaining heats. Here is a look back at that start there for Jake Mulford off the outside gate. Gets his business done nice and early. Throws down the gauntlet to Ace Piper, who takes up the challenge. And does what he can to try and work his way up to Jake Mulford. And certainly was there chasing down his back wheel, but no mistake from Jake Mulford. Okay, on to this next heat, and then after this, all of the riders will have had 4 outings each, and we'll have a true look at how the table is standing with 1 ride left to go for these riders as they come down now to the start line. And there's Ryan Ingram, who he's actually in the top 6 at the moment. Very much got it to play for here. He's on 7 points, so a point here. And certainly if he gets the better of Vinnie Ford in some way in this one, then we'll very much be in the thick of it. Here is the lineup for heat number 16. Ashton Vale is in red from gate number 1. Gate 2 in blue is Ryan Ingram. Geordie Loftus in white from gate number 3. And it's Vinnie Ford in yellow from gate number 4. The lineup for heat number 16. The way things stand at the moment, Ryan Ingram is in the top 6. We've got Vinnie Ford level on points with him at the moment in time, so there will be a count-back element to this as well in who beats who, so that could also decide things. Geordie Loftus directly behind them. He's on 5 points at the moment, so if he gets a win in this one, or at least a couple of points, it's certainly going to be there or thereabouts with a ride to go. Ashton Vale out of the mix at this particular moment, but again, got 3 points there. Could certainly have an outside chance with a ride to go. Here we go. Heat number 16. Take tries on this one, heading down to the first corner. It's a good start from Ashton Vale, pinning it to the inside. He's going to have some competition down the back straight, very tight indeed, and taking the lead. He's Geordie Loftus, who's really throwing a bit of a cat among the pigeons there, looking to get 3 points on the board. He's being pursued now by Vinnie Ford, who's in second place. And Vinnie Ford really sending it into the corners here around Foxhall and down the back straight. Vinnie Ford trying to force his way past Geordie Loftus, but Geordie Loftus closing that line off. And Vinnie Ford's going to have to work at it again. And Geordie Loftus holding the lead. Vinnie Ford is trying to drift up around the outside here, but can't find a way past Geordie Loftus at the moment. Third place is Ryan Ingram. And Vinnie Ford going at it again here. Can he find a way past Geordie Loftus? Into the final lap we go. Loftus ahead of Vinnie Ford, who's throwing everything into this one. Good race this, but Geordie Loftus riding a good line and making life hard for Vinnie Ford. One last go at it for Vinnie Ford. And he's too far away. This is going to be a win for Geordie Loftus. An important win that'll be as well, and that's certainly going to throw him into some contention now with a ride to go. A win for Geordie Loftus. Vinnie Ford in second place. Ryan Ingram also in there as well in the points. And a second win of the night for Geordie Loftus. And Geordie Loftus, with that, moves into the qualifying places in the top 6. Important win there. So the result of heat number 6, a win for Geordie Loftus. Vinnie Ford second, Ryan Ingram third, Ashton Vale fourth. And that does have a bit of an important implication on things in the top 6. We'll look at that in a moment, but here's a look back at the start. And it was a perfect start, really, from Geordie Loftus. Bides his time here. He's got Ashton Vale around the inside initially, but holds his nerve, gets into the lead. Vinnie Ford, try as he might to find a way past, just couldn't find a way past Geordie Loftus. And a win there for Geordie Loftus. That puts him in the top 6. In fact, we've got quite a few riders now on 8 points who are not in the top 6 as a result. So the final block of heats is going to have quite some consequence to sort this out. But yeah, Vinnie Ford certainly giving it his all in that one. So as far as the table goes at the moment, here's how things are looking. Jake Mulford leading the way is at the top of the table. He's on 12 points. Cooper Russian is in second place at the moment, having dropped that 1 point in his last outing. And Ben Trigger is also in the mix as well. He's in third. Vinnie Ford, Geordie Loftus and Jody Scott make up the top 6 at the moment. You can see it's all level though. Got quite a few riders on 8 points. Jody Scott is in the qualifiers at the moment. Ace Piper and Ryan Ingram are outside it. So we've got some big heats to come in the next block of heats here at Foxhall. Let's head over to the pits right now. And Charlotte Woolsey is with Chris Louis.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. Chris, firstly, huge congratulations again for last week. Obviously, you must be so proud. But moving to tonight, obviously it's hugely important to you personally. But for these young riders, what can they really take and learn from tonight?
Well, you know, the fact that obviously Ollie's done his bit pre-meeting and given them a few things to think about. And they've got mentors who have all got a lot of experience. And it's in race conditions. You know, you can spend a whole day on a training track with someone on their own, and yeah, they can learn, but it's much better to learn in race conditions. And yeah, so I think, you know, I hope that they can all take something away from tonight. And you know, it's special for me as well because obviously, you know, we started the Tigers Academy and it's something that we want to develop and do a lot more of.
Well, thank you for doing it because I can see it means a lot to all the riders, and thanks for chatting.
No problem.
Let's head back up to commentary for now.
Yeah, thanks, Charlotte. Yes, it's, you know, as Chris mentions, you know, and as well, I think performing in front of a stadium where, you know, there's some people there that have, you know, paid to come in and they're watching the action. A lot of people watching all over the world on this free live stream as well. And we thank you for joining us wherever you are and taking in some of these riders and maybe riders that you've not seen riding before. And as Chris mentions, you know, you're racing in race conditions. A lot of the training can be done you know, on an open track where they're maybe not doing full race conditions. It's not a full meeting. They might have the odd race here and there, but you know, you've got people in the stands. You've got those race conditions. You've got the referee. You've got what's going on in the pits and all this kind of stuff as well. So a real example of what life is like in a full meeting, and some some competitive heats as well, and good experience. I know people are saying, well, how's Jake Mulford in this? He's not an up and coming rider, but the point is it's matching inexperience with experience, and that's what it's all about. So you've got more experienced upcoming riders, and then you've got the next level down. It's not all about the new fresh talent coming in. They're being paired with riders that have got league experience in the Premiership or the Championship, so they see what the marker is, they see what the level's at. That's the reason for it. Here's the lineup then for heat number 17. And Jody Scott is in red from gate number 1. Jack Schmeltz is in blue, gate number 2. Vinnie Ford in white, gate 3. Harrison Rogers off the outside in yellow, gate number 4. And 2 riders here who are looking to cement their place in the qualifiers for the semi-final in Jody Scott and Vinnie Ford. And Vinnie Ford just 1 point ahead of Jody Scott at the moment. Vinnie Ford on 9, Jody Scott on 8. And so who beats who in this could have a deciding factor in who makes it through to the semi-final as well. So there is that to think about too. So an interesting heat this. The final block of heats. Each rider having their 5th outing now. And we also will have the pairs situation sorted out as well. This pairs heat will be happening. And Jody Scott off the inside then. Jack Schmeltz in blue, gate number 2. Vinnie Ford in white from gate number 3. And off the outside in yellow is Harrison Rogers. But certainly that battle between Jody Scott and Vinnie Ford will be one to watch. We'll have a result on qualifying and into that first corner. And say what, Vinnie Ford's got the bit between his teeth. Flies out of the gate there and he's ahead. But Jody Scott is going to try and fire back on that one. And it's Jody Scott in second place at the moment. Vinnie Ford already ahead of Jody Scott in the qualifying scores. But Jody Scott here is picking up the pace on Vinnie Ford, holding the inside line. Battle unfolding here. Here comes Jody Scott up the inside of Vinnie Ford. Vinnie Ford back again, closes the door and retakes the lead. And trying to cement that and force Jody Scott out of things a little bit. Vinnie Ford going well. Jody Scott's going to have another go here to head into the final stages of heat number 17. But Vinnie Ford seems to have a good amount of speed in this one. Starting the final lap, the lead with Vinnie Ford. Jody Scott in second place. Third place at the moment. We've got Harrison, we've got Jack Schmeltz out there as well. Harrison Rogers behind, but the big race is this one that we're watching at the moment. And Vinnie Ford gets the better of Jody Scott and gets the 3 points on the board. A big win there for Vinnie Ford ahead of Jody Scott. And third place was the rider in blue, Jack Schmeltz, and Harrison Rogers coming in at the back. So the result there, Vinnie Ford gets his second win of the night, finishes on 12 points. At the moment, Vinnie Ford is in the automatic qualifying places, but of course all the other riders around him in the league table have got to have their ride yet. But 12 points is going to see him through to the semi-final, that's for sure. Jody Scott finishes with 2 points in that one, and Jody Scott's on 10. Jack Schmeltz, third place. So we'll have a look back. Actually, have a look at how the table shapes up as a result of that. So Vinnie Ford moves into second place at the moment. The top 6 is where you're looking to finish. So with Geordie Loftus, all the other riders on 8 points, they can get 11. Vinnie Ford on 12 is going to be assured of his place in the top 6, that's for sure. So on to heat number 18 then, and looking at the riders involved in this one, we've got Ashton Vale, Senna Summers, Jamie Etherington and Eli Meadows. And I don't think any of these riders can actually make the final shake-up of things the way it goes, so sort of riding for pride a bit more in this one. But they've all had their moments. So heat number 18 with the riders down at the tapes, and here's the lineup for heat number 18. And off the inside gate in red is Ashton Vale. Gate number 2 in blue is Senna Summers. We've got Jamie Etherington in white from gate number 3 and Eli Meadows in yellow from gate number 4. So couple of big heats yet to come as far as the qualifying situations are concerned. But as I say, these riders really, Ashton Vale has got 3 points so far. Senna Summers is on 4, looking for a strong finish, can finish just outside the qualifying places. Here we go, Heat 18, Ashton Vale, Senna Summers, Jamie Etherington and Eli Meadows. Away we go into the first corner. It's a good start from Senna Summers. It's in the lead early on and looking good at the moment, and getting his way past Ashton Vale. Ashton Vale is taking the charge to Senna Summers, though, trying to hold off his compatriot there, but Ashton Vale trying to force his way back up the inside. Senna Summers looks like he might have this one under control now, and pulling away in the lead. Ashton Vale in second place. Third place is Eli Meadows. And Jamie Etherington is in fourth place, but Senna Summers looking to finish with a win. He's had a second place earlier on, 4 points. Finish on 7 if it stays this way. But Ashton Vale not giving up the chase into the final lap of heat number 18. Senna Summers, son of Aaron Summers, looking to chase down his first win on his last ride. Ashton Vale, though, I tell you, is winding some speed up the inside here. Can he mount an attack in the closing stages? Round for the final time. Checkered flag in sight. Senna Summers finishes with a win. Second place is Ashton Vale. And Ashton Vale keeping the pressure on throughout there. But not a bad finish in the end for Senna Summers. Eli Meadows coming in third, I think, as well. And Senna Summers is going to finish just outside the qualifying spots. Gets himself in at 7 points, so decent effort. Second place is Ashton Vale. Eli Meadows third. Jamie Etherington fourth. The results of heat number 18. Doesn't really have a major bearing on the top end of the qualifying table, but for Senna Summers, means he finishes in 9th place at this moment in time, and just a little bit outside the qualifying spots, but can take pride from that and finish. You're only as good as your last ride, is a saying in Speedway, and your last ride's a win, Senna. So there you go, 3 points on the board. Job done for tonight. We'll see, though, if his pairing ends up in any of the action a little bit later on for the pairs tournament, which is sort of going on in the background with the scores added up for the various pairings that have been put together for later on. Right now, though, on to heat number 19. And Ace Piper here in with a chance of getting himself into the top 6. Ben Trigger is already in the top 6. And can he be overhauled at the moment? I think it's possible. Ryan Ingram and Ace Piper are both out in this heat, and they can actually throw a spanner in the works. They're the only two, I think, by my reckoning, who can actually break into the top 6, who aren't currently in it. Heat number 20 is going to be a bit more of a confirmation, really, of who finishes where. But here is the lineup for heat 19. Ace Piper in red, gate number 1. Seth Norman's in blue from gate number 2. Gate 3 in white is Ben Trigger, and Ryan Ingram in yellow from gate number 4. So the way the table's looking, Ryan Ingram and Ace Piper just outside the qualifying spots at the moment. Actually level on points with Geordie Loftus, who is in the qualifying spots at this moment in time. So certainly with some decent points, Ace Piper and Ryan Ingram can force their way into the mix. Ben Trigger, obviously, in this one, he's already in the top 6 at this minute. So another point or so here would confirm his progression through. And yeah, Seth Norman. Well, Seth Norman's he's celebrating his birthday, 15 years old, and getting on the 500cc bike in a big competition, and just loving life, basically. But he's got 3 points on the boards. Not bad for your first major tournament, post 15 years old. Here we go then. Heat number 19, Ace Piper, Seth Norman, Ben Trigger and Ryan Ingram. And away we head into the first corner. Ace Piper is there, but Ben Trigger is putting pressure on, and Ben Trigger gets his wheel in the dirt and finds a bit of drive down the back straight and takes the lead ahead of Ace Piper. Third place is Ryan Ingram, who's trying to find a way past Ace Piper as well, but Ace Piper settling into second place. But Ben Trigger, once again, I'll tell you what, he's going strong here, is Ben Trigger. He's had a good finish to the meeting. Ace Piper in second place at the moment. Holding third is Ryan Ingram. Seth Norman out the back in his final ride of the evening, but this is going to confirm Ben Trigger's qualification. At the moment, Ben Trigger will be heading to the top of the table and could be heading for a qualifying spot. Depending on what happens in the remaining heats, he could be going there automatically. But Ace Piper is also going to get himself into the top 6 just, and that's going to leave a job to do for Geordie Loftus in the final heat. Down at the checkered flag, it's a win for Ben Trigger, and it's an important second place for Ace Piper, who at this moment just gets himself into the top 6. And the only rider that can maybe overhaul him there will be Geordie Loftus, who'll need at least a second place to force his way into the mix there. And that'll be to come. But Ben Trigger's done his bit. Here is the result. A win for Ben Trigger. Second place Ace Piper. Ryan Ingram third and Seth Norman fourth. The result of heat number 19. And that does change things at the top of the leaderboard, with Ben Trigger heading to the very top at this moment in time. Cooper Rushen, though, has a ride to come. So Cooper Rushen needs to get some points on the board there to overhaul Ben Trigger. Jake Mulford will be out in the next one as well, so there's a big heat to come to settle things out. And Geordie Loftus needs to get some points on the board as well. So there's a few riders here who need at least a couple of points, and only a couple of them can do it. So Jake Mulford is on 12 points. Cooper Rushen, if Jake Mulford failed to score, Cooper Rushen could overhaul Jake Mulford and go through automatically. But Jake Mulford unbeaten so far, 4 rides, 4 wins. Cooper Rushen has dropped, and just 1 point in this would see him into the mix, I think, potentially. So we'll see how this one goes. This is going to upset the apple cart in some form, I think. Jake Mulford then in red from gate number 1, Steen Piper in blue from gate number 2, Cooper Rushen's in white from gate number 3, and Geordie Loftus in yellow from gate number 4. Geordie Loftus on 8 points. He needs at least 2 points to get himself in contention. And we'll wait and see how that is going to pan out. And once things settle down, we'll be able to see how that's going to affect things. But Geordie Loftus, I think if he did get a second place, he would knock Ace Piper out of things, by my reckoning. But we'll see where he ends up, because it all depends who beats who and who finishes where. So here we go then. Heat number 20, Jake Mulford, Steen Piper, Cooper Rushen and Geordie Loftus. And this will sort things out in the final stage of this. And down to the first corner. It's a good start from Jake Mulford. But Cooper Rushen is on the gas. Through comes Geordie Loftus into second place. And Cooper Rushen's going to battle back and try and retake that second place. But the lead is with the rider who's unbeaten so far, Jake Mulford, going well out front. The battle is on, though, for second place. And Geordie Loftus has it at the moment. But Cooper Rushen's going to have a go again, building some speed up around the Foxhall circuit. Getting his wheels in line, but Geordie Loftus riding a good line at the moment and making life very hard for Cooper Rushen to find a way past. But he's giving it a go. He's still got a lap to go yet. Cooper Rushen turning up the heat on Geordie Loftus, and down this start-finish straight is very close into the final lap of this one. The lead with Jake Mulford. Geordie Loftus looking like he's going to try and consolidate that second place, and it's going to be Cooper Rushen in third. Round for the final time, very close, taking the checkered flag. Jake Mulford wins. Second place for Geordie Loftus. I said he needed at least 2 points. He's got 2 points. Cooper Rushen finishes in third, and Steen Piper fourth. And what that means is that Cooper Rushen, having been out leading things for much of the evening, is going to miss out on automatic qualification. And Ben Trigger's going to get in there. Here's the result of heat number 20. Jake Mulford wins, and he's through for sure to the final. Geordie Loftus second, Cooper Rushen third, and Steen Piper fourth. And that third place there, I think, could be costly for Cooper Rushen. Here's confirmation of the score chart then, and it's Jake Mulford and Ben Trigger heading through to the final. Ben Trigger there with 3 wins on the bounce, in his final 3 rides, powering him into the final. Cooper Russian misses out by a point, and he's going to be going in a semi-final runoff with Vinnie Ford, Geordie Loftus and Jody Scott. And that second place for Geordie Loftus knocks Ace Piper out of the qualifying contention. Ace Piper also finishing on 10 points, but ultimately finishes in 7th place on countback. And the countback, how it was settled on heat wins. Everyone else having a couple of heat wins. Ace Piper having just the 1 heat win. Now then, this is a lad you want to watch for the future, right? This is Oscar Berwick, and I saw him riding in the Youth Championships at the weekend. He's superb. He's 8 years old. 8. He's got a little reduced size frame bike, and look at him, 8 years old, and he's going. I tell you what, he has a little bit of a style on him. And he was tremendous when he was racing. And look how far he's sitting forward. He's tremendous. And when you see him in a race with other riders, I tell you what, this is like Bomber Junior. He was like lining the bike up, firing it into the bends. Absolutely fearless. 8 years old, 125cc bike. Look at him go. But he was tremendous at Workington at the weekend. Really, really fun to watch. And I tell you what, he's 8 years old, but he's giving riders that are considerably bigger than him a ride and a run for their money. But certainly a name to watch there in a while. But Oscar Berwick, and certainly was a rider that a lot. Oh, what? Cooper Russian be proud of that save. You all right, Oscar? Ride it out, son. Good work. Bit of a tank slapper. Let's head over to the pits, and we can hear from Ace Piper, who just narrowly missed out on qualification. He's with Charlotte Woolsey.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. Like we said, just narrowly missed out, Ace, but it's been a great night for you and a great season. What have you took from tonight, though?
Well, I've rode this track in 2019 on a 125, and I didn't really know what to expect. So I don't know. I stayed on my bike for all my heats, and that's kind of the most important thing at the moment. And at least I know how to get around here now. So if I have Premiership next year, then it should be all right.
What were some of the main things you found most difficult around here? Because obviously, like you say, it's been a while since you've been here.
I just think I thought it would. Well, I seen it on TV and it was quite grippy. So I thought, it's going to be grippy. But I think I don't know. It's just kind of an awkward shape in my opinion. And I like the big wide tracks, and this is not one of them. So it's just tight and technical. And the more times I ride here, I think the better it will be.
Well, like you say, lots to take away, and thanks for talking. Let's head back up to commentary.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Charlotte. We've got the semi-final and final to come. We've also got this pairs race to come as well, and we'll confirm the lineup for that in a short while. But a bit of track grading going on, and we've had some exciting racing in this meeting, but a glimpse into the future as well. And even riders, of course, who aren't in the main meeting, like we just saw little Oscar Berwick there, get a bit of exposure for him and a name to watch. And, a lot of these riders, maybe the ones that aren't in, sort of championship teams, for example, at the moment, are riding in the National League. These riders who are 15 or 16 years old, you've got to look at the history of Speedway and see that these names will be names that you'll be familiar with in, 5 or 10 years' time. It wasn't too long ago the likes of Dan Bewley or Robert Lambert and Ty Woofenden in the era as well. We're riding this kind of meeting, and takes a bit of time, takes a bit of experience and a few knocks as well, I'm sure, along the way. But eventually they do tend to get there, and you can see there are a few riders who are not afraid to get involved, get their elbows out, and some riders as well who might, Ben Triggerbane, for example, who maybe you might feel that quite well, but you forget that actually he's still relatively young in the sport as well. Jake Mulford's still a youngster, also. People saying he's got a lot of experience, but he's not got that much experience in the scheme of things. But there we see a couple of riders down on the start line there who are going to be contesting the semi-final race off in actually no, one of them won't be, because Ben Trigger is already through. He's sure to be in the final, so he's straight there. But Vinnie Ford will be in that semi-final runoff with Cooper Russian, Geordie Loftus and Jodie Scott, and it'll be the top two that finish first and second in that one. Who'll be heading through to join Jake Mulford and Ben Trigger, who is considering gate positions there, I think. And we'll be heading direct to the final. Geordie Loftus needed to get some points on the board in his last ride. He needed at least 2 points. And Geordie Loftus did exactly that and got himself onto 10 points. And that relegated Ace Piper out of things. Had he finished third place, it would be he that's sitting on the sidelines, I think, in the end. Because Ace Piper also got 10 points. But, the count back and who beat who and getting the race wins on the board through the course of the meeting, of course, proves to be important. And there we go. So, we're just waiting for the next final block of heats. The grid being marked out before we get going, and some final words of wisdom from the mentors who are looking after the riders here. And there's Tom Brennan, who's been advising Vinnie Ford throughout this. And Ben Trigger has actually been working with Mark Loram through the course of things as well. See in the background there, Jeremy Doncaster is also one of the experienced hands to offer a bit of help to some of the riders. So we've got Danny King in there, we've got Richie Hawkins, Chris Louis, Mark Loram, Jeremy Doncaster, and Cameron Heaps as well. Also one of those helping out and offering some advice to some of these riders and help broaden their education in Speedway and see if they can learn a few things to take with them, probably into the winter and of course into the season next year. And a few of these riders also are going to be heading to Australia through the course of the winter as well, and get a bit more experience in some meetings happening down under and get some racing under their belt. And right now we've got discussions going on for who's going to be riding where and against who in the remaining heats of this Tiger Academy Open, named after John Tiger Louis and his son there, Chris Louis, in the background with Richie Hawkins and Danny King. Tapes going back up. Tom Brennan out on track there to have a look at things. I would suspect then by that it sounds possibly like Vinnie Ford might be taking gate number 2 if Tom Brennan's working hard on the second trap. But don't quote me on that. We'll find out in the next few minutes or so. Welcome to this live stream. Hope that you've enjoyed what you've seen so far. Bit of a freebie from BSN and also Ipswich Speedway. And BSN will be back in action for the grand final of the Cab Direct Championship. There's Jeremy Doncaster. That's tomorrow at Ashfield, the Glasgow Tigers versus the Poole Pirates. Join us for that, for the full experience on BSN tomorrow night from Ashfield. It's going to be a big occasion, and the Pirates start that one 12 points up after their victory at Wimborne Road last night. Will 12 points be enough? The Glasgow Tigers overhauled Edinburgh and a 14-point advantage that they had a few weeks ago in the semi-final. Will 12 points be enough? We will discover in good time. And then it's on to the BSN Series final as well, where we've got the Poole Pirates again in action against the Redcar Bears. The first leg of that on Saturday. And the second leg of the BSN Series final at Wimborne Road, bringing the curtain down on another season of Speedway in Poole on Wednesday next week. And you can see all of that action live on BSN. But first of all, we've got a few more heats of Speedway to bring you from Foxhall. And we've got the semi-final ready to go in a few moments' time. And we'll bring you the gate positions. I can tell you that we've got Cooper Russian in red. Vinnie Ford will indeed be in blue. I think we had a bit of a clue of that one from. And we've got Geordie Loftus in white. And Jodie Scott will be in yellow. The lineup for the semi-final. So, top 2 gets through to the grand final, like the olden days of the Grand Prix. So that's what you're looking for. And Cooper Russian going well in the early stages of the meeting, and a couple of, not mishaps as such, but he certainly had the bike rear up under him in one heat, and it cost him a position, and then had to settle for third place in his last outing. He was in the automatic qualifying spots for a long time. Jody Scott started well, slipped away, finished again strongly, and has another bite at the cherry here to get himself through to the final. The top two will be facing Jake Mulford and Ben Trigger in the final event, which is just around the corner. So riders coming down to the tapes now for the semi-final. Bit of a last chance qualifier. Top two to go through to the grand final of this event. Here is the lineup then, and it's Cooper Rushton in red from gate number 1, Vinnie Ford in blue from gate 2, gate 3 in white is Geordie Loftus, and Jody Scott in yellow from gate number 4. Whether you're a Workington fan, Oxford fan, Edinburgh fan, or I guess we have to be a Leicester fan, won't you, for Cooper Rushton in this moment in time for the National League. Maybe he'll have some more teams to add to his collection in the era of the Championship, when he's going to be old enough on the 29th of March. Perfect time to have your birthday for a Speedway rider, I think, that, isn't it? My birthday is the day after, but obviously a lack of talent and being able to ride a Speedway bike is my main obstacle rather than my birth date. So then, here we go with the last chance semi-final. Cooper Rushton in red, Vinnie Ford in blue, Geordie Loftus in white, Jody Scott in yellow. Top two heading through to the final. Who will it be? And the tapes have gone up before the green light's gone on. So we'll just have to reset the tapes again. And I've had a couple of issues with the tapes in this meeting, actually. So start marshal there, just having a quick word with Jody Scott. Something maybe come off his bike, I'm not sure back there, but here we go. We'll have another start at this. The semi-final, Cooper Rushton, Vinnie Ford, Geordie Loftus, Jody Scott. And away we go, down to the first into that first bend. Vinnie Ford is there, and he takes the lead at the moment, and the red lights are on. And I've got to say, I'm not surprised, because it did look like Vinnie Ford to me was rolling a little bit. But we'll have a look back at that. But certainly that is going to be a restart. The riders waved right down, and Vinnie Ford, well, he's moving. And he also was in the lead, so the referee's going to call that back. And Vinnie Ford's getting a warning to sit still at the start. I know it's only ever so gradual, but, you know, the rule is the green light comes on, you've got to be still. And if your wheels are moving, you're not still. And so a warning coming the way of Vinnie Ford, heading into the semi-final. And if you're unfamiliar with what that means, basically, if he does it again, then he's excluded. That's the same as touching the tapes, in effect. So, yeah, I've got the tapes wrapped around Jody Scott's front wheel briefly there. So, we'll have a go again. And maybe some clutch adjustments going on to Vinnie Ford. It can happen that the clutch is just dragging a little bit. And, pulls a bike into the tapes when the bike's at full revs. But either way, he gets a warning. And here is the lineup again for this semi-final. Cooper Rushton in red from gate number 1. Gate 2 in blue is Vinnie Ford. Gate 3 in white, Geordie Loftus. And Jody Scott's in yellow, gate number 4. Which pair will be heading through to the grand final of this event? We're about to find out. Certainly Vinnie Ford came very close to winning that under-19 title. He'll be looking to try and make amends, maybe. Made a good start in the first running of this, but maybe too good. So pulled back, we're going to go again. Here we are, the semi-final. And away we go into the first corner. Oh, and very tight indeed, elbows out. And Vinnie Ford's in the lead. Cooper Rushton slips to the back, and Cooper Rushton trying to force his way into the mix, and he comes through into second place. And Cooper Rushton now picking up the chase on Vinnie Ford. Vinnie Ford sticking his leg out a little bit there, keeping control of the bike. Geordie Loftus coming into the action now at the inside. Cooper Rushton back into second place, looking to try and force his way past Vinnie Ford. But Vinnie Ford's got some speed. He's out front, midway through. Vinnie Ford and Cooper Rushton are on course. Geordie Loftus, though, is there to capitalise on any mistakes from the front pair. Cooper Rushton is keeping the pressure on Vinnie Ford. Still a lap to go. Cooper Rushton up the inside of Vinnie Ford. What a move from Cooper Rushton. And he takes the lead into the final lap. Best race of the night so far. Vinnie Ford in second place. And now Geordie Loftus is turning up the heat on Vinnie Ford in the closing stages. It's going to be close down to the checkered flag. Very close indeed, I think. Vinnie Ford just about holds on. Not entirely sure, but the winner is Cooper Rushen. And what a ride that was from Cooper Rushen. Best race of the night, I think. And he gets around Vinnie Ford. Cooper Rushen certainly collects the win. We'll get confirmation of the result, but a fantastic ride there from Cooper Rushen. Winning the semi-final, is going through to the grand final. It was in the automatic qualifying spots for a long time, but fell out of those. And there is a look at the finish, and we'll bring you the official results. But no doubt about the winner, Cooper Rushen. Here it is again. Cooper Rushen and Blue finishes second, so Vinnie Ford ahead of Geordie Loftus, who came on strong at the end there. But close finish indeed. The official results of that semi-final then, the last chance qualifier. And a win for Cooper Rushen. Vinnie Ford second, Geordie Loftus third, Jody Scott fourth. And Cooper Rushen and Vinnie Ford, we'll see them in action again, because they're going through to the grand final. And they'll be taking on Jake Mulford and Ben Trigger for the ultimate prize. But a good battle there from Cooper Rushen, because certainly didn't have it all his own way, did he? Vinnie Ford makes the start, gets across Cooper Rushen there. Cooper Rushen going wide outside at this moment as well. Jody Scott's coming into the mix. Cooper Rushen dropping to the back briefly, I guess you'd say, forces his way into second place. Vinnie Ford's looking pretty confident out front here for the most part. But Cooper Rushen biding his time, keeping the pressure on, winding the speed up around the outside, and eventually manages to force his way through on the next lap. Vinnie Ford going well. But yeah, those tassels of Cooper Rushen flapping furiously in the breeze, and he gets some speed up down the back straight here. Bit of drive coming out of this turn, down the back straight, keeping the gas fully wound on, and this time comes up the inside of Vinnie Ford. Vinnie Ford takes a glance over, can see that Cooper Rushen's coming, and he takes the lead, and a fantastic ride there. So then, Oscar Berwick back in action once again, and he'll be doing exactly what Cooper Rushen's just done in a few years. He's, 8 years old, and going well on the 125s at the minute, and he's got a bit of style. But certainly he's no stranger, and certainly likes to get his front wheel out there, and makes no... when you've seen him actually racing, he just, fires the bike through any gap he can find. Oscar Berwick. Definitely a name for the future. Yeah, pat on the head, son. Good ride. Solid performance. Great stuff to see. So we've got our grand final to come. We've still got 2 races to come on our coverage here. We've got the grand final of the individual event, and we've also got the pairs event as well. And this will be made up of... Obviously, the individual riders were put into pairs, and their points that they gain through the course of the individual meeting are put together, and the best 2 pairs are going to go out and have a one-off race at the end. So we'll bring that to you as well. So still 2 more heats of Speedway to come. Here on this little bit of a freebie from BSN, and also from Ipswich Speedway as well. And thanks for joining us wherever you are. If you are just tuning in, then you're in time for the grand final, which is just around the corner. But hopefully you've had a good little glimpse into the future of what Speedway in Great Britain has to offer, and see what is coming up. And certainly that rider there has maybe caught the attention of many. Cooper Rushen, fantastic ride in that semi-final to get himself into the grand final. He's going to be going again. Exciting young rider, and looking to get himself on the podium. And, well, I think he'd be looking, of course, to get himself on the top of the podium if he can. Here is the lineup for the final. It's Jake Mulford in red. Ben Trigger will be in blue. Cooper Rushen is in the white helmet colour, and Vinnie Ford will be in yellow. The lineup for the grand final of Tigers Academy Open. Who will be your winner? Jake Mulford, who's, Jake Mulford's gone through the card so far, unbeaten by anybody. Cooper Rushen was going through the card until he wasn't later on, but certainly saved the best for last in his semi-final heat. He and Vinnie Ford, though, will go again up against Ben Trigger and Jake Mulford. Ben Trigger, a bit of a spoiler in ways. He came up on the rails, came bursting through and into those automatic qualification spots. 3 wins back-to-back for Ben Trigger. Only dropped 2 points so far, so he's certainly kept the pressure up right from the off. So who will be the winner of this individual event? We're about to find out very shortly. But hopefully we have a race as good as the semi-final, because that was pretty breathtaking stuff there from Cooper Rushen, who this time will be coming off gate number 3 for the final. And Jake Mulford will have the inside gate. And of course, unbeaten by an opponent so far, so he very much is the rider to catch. But the 4 top riders of the night heading out onto the track now. Cooper Rushen, 15 years old. He's been making some big scores in the National League. He's the reigning 250cc champion. He's going for the 500cc British Youth Championships as well. That title currently held by Will Cairns. Cooper Rushen sort of a bit of a, not quite a year behind, 6 months behind Will Cairns, I guess. And Will Cairns obviously making his name in Championship Speedway now and around Europe as well. And Cooper Rushen looking to follow in those footsteps in the next year. And certainly showed in that semi-final why there's a lot of interest in him. Cooper Rushen off gate number 3. Here's the full lineup for the final then of Tigers Academy Open. And it's Jake Mulford in red from gate number 1 for the Red Car Bears. Ben Trigger in blue from gate number 2. Gate number 3 in white is Cooper Rushen. And it's Vinnie Ford, gate number 4 in yellow. And Vinnie Ford carrying a warning for to keep still at the starts. So, grand final to come. Who's it going to be? Hope you've enjoyed the action here. Stay with us, because after this we do have one more race to come. We've got that pairs race off as well, so we'll bring that to you shortly. But the grand final of the individual event to come first of all. Thanks for joining us wherever you're watching, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. This little freebie and a glimpse into the future of Youth Speedway from BSN and Ipswich Witches. And it's the final. Jake Mulford, Ben Trigger, Cooper Rushen and Vinnie Ford. Away we go into the first corner then. It's a good start from Jake Mulford, but coming up the inside, the rider in yellow there is Vinnie Ford. Cooper Rushen in the mix as well. Coming back round, Vinnie Ford to take second place. Cooper Rushen's going very big, but maybe too big, drifts out to the boards, and that allows Vinnie Ford to come through. Ben Trigger's keeping up the pressure for third place as well. Cooper Rushen's going to go again. The lead, though, is with the rider who's been untouchable all night, Jake Mulford, in the lead, and he's heading for the finish line. Here comes Cooper Rushen back up the inside of Vinnie Ford. Elbows out here, and Vinnie Ford going to try and cut back up the inside of Cooper Rushen. Another good battle between this pair. Cooper Rushen comes back into second place. Fantastic ride yet again from both Cooper Rushen and Vinnie Ford into the final lap, and it's Jake Mulford now who's less than a lap away from taking this title here tonight at Foxhall. Second place is Cooper Rushen. What a ride from him again to get the better of Vinnie Ford, taking the checkered flag, and it is Jake Mulford who takes the crown. Second place is Cooper Rushen, Vinnie Ford third, Ben Trigger fourth. But a good night of Speedway at Foxhall, and another good battle between Vinnie Ford and Cooper Rushen. This time Cooper Rushen getting his work done a little bit quicker, but fantastic ride from him, but a fantastic ride from that rider there in red, Jake Mulford, who goes through the card unbeaten all night. You can't do any better than that, and he is the champion of Tigers Academy Open at Foxhall. And I think maybe are they going to celebrate with a burnout? I think that's exactly what they're going to do. Here we go, folks. Not quite how it's supposed to be done, but, points for effort. Points for effort, guys. You get the idea. So now we've got to go to the podium. I'll be heading on to the centre green, but great ride there from Cooper Rushen and Jake Mulford and Vinnie Ford as well, and Ben Trigger, of course, making his contribution too. So Jake Mulford wins the final, Cooper Russian second, Vinnie Ford third, Ben Trigger fourth. The result of the final of Tigers Academy Open. Still got one more heat of Speedway to come, so stay with us for that. But the celebration's on for the final of the individual event, and Jake Mulford's taking the applause of the crowds that's come in to check this meeting out. The final meeting of the year, of course, at Foxhall Stadium, bringing the curtain down on the 2025 season, which, of course, has been a very successful one for the Ipswich Witches, winning the league championship first time since 1998. Chris Louis was riding then, and now celebrating the championship with that team and finishing off with this meeting. The final silverware at Foxhall, though, is going to go to Jake Mulford. Fantastic start from him. But this battle again between Vinnie Ford and Cooper Russian. Vinnie Ford initially out in the lead. Cooper Russian comes through. Cooper Russian sort of makes a bit of a mess of that, goes a bit too wide. Manages to regain control of it. And Ben Trigger was closing in at this point. Vinnie Ford in second place, but watch out for Cooper Russian, who, well, he sort of hits the turbo button and manages to find a way past Vinnie Ford once again, right up the inside. Nice smooth ride from Cooper Russian, just gives a little bit of a love tap, as they call it, nudging Vinnie Ford out. And Vinnie Ford coming back up the inside, but some real drive on the bike out of that turn for Cooper Russian. Fires him into second place. And from there, not much that Vinnie Ford could do about it. Smiles all around then for Jake Mulford, who gets his job done. And Jake Mulford, who has been working with Cameron Heaps for a bit of support, but chatting there to Ollie Allen, Great Britain team manager. And there's Oscar Berwick back on the track again, and certainly catching the attention, flying the bike around Foxhall there. 8 years old. What were you doing in your 8? I bet you weren't doing that. Maybe you were, if you're Ty Wolfenden. But probably not. Well, that's what Oscar Berwick's doing on his Thursday nights in the Ipswich area, and looking good on the bike as well. Certainly a rider that we might be seeing in a few years' time in an event like this, on maybe a slightly bigger bike. So we've got a final heat to come, but before we do that, we'll just watch the end of Oscar Berwick's little lap there around the track, and we'll head over to the pits. We can hear from the champion, the winner, gold medalist at Tigers Academy Open. Jake Mulford is with Charlotte Wolsey.
Yeah, thanks, Ian. Here with our winner, unbeaten all night. Just how are you feeling?
Oh, brilliant. I really felt the pressure in the last one, because obviously Cooper is fast. So yeah, to actually finish on a win, which you've been winning your previous heats, you couldn't ask for anything better. So yeah, it wouldn't have been good if I missed out then.
And although he wasn't your mentor tonight, Ollie Allen, you've worked a lot with him, Norwich boys as well. Has he been able to share things alongside your mentor, which has helped?
Yeah, obviously Cameron was my mentor today, but yeah, with Ollie was a massive help. He was always helping me throughout the whole meeting and where to ride and learning different bike setups, and I think that was what this meeting was about. So I think it's good for all of us riders to actually have mentors at a meeting like this. So yeah, well done to Ipswich for doing that.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations again. Go celebrate. Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's head back up to Ian.
Yeah, thanks a lot, and well done to Ben Trigger. We've got one heat left of Speedway at Foxhall in the 2025 season, and then the season will be closed. And this is going to be a pairs event. All the riders were put into pairs at the start, and they were working with various mentors. So we've got Vinnie Ford and Senna Summers. Vinnie Ford and Senna Summers, who have been working with Tom Brennan, I believe, and they've got themselves through. And Ben Trigger and Geordie Loftus will be the other pair as well. Ben Trigger and Geordie Loftus coming back out on the track, and they've been working with Mark Loram. So they've got some no shortage of experience there. So So I think they've swapped around helmet colours. So what I had in red and blue are actually the way round. So we'll bring you the lineup in a second, and we'll confirm things there. But those are the pairings anyway. Vinnie Ford, Senna Summers, Ben Trigger and Geordie Loftus will be the riders in this final heat, but racing as pairs, so it will be the 4-3-2-0 scoring system. So basically, don't finish last is the mantra. So different scoring, different game. So this is a team event, basically. We've been watching individual Speedway till now. This is about pairing up as a team, and the riders out on track for this one. So off the inside gate in red will be Ben Trigger. Gate number 2 will be, Vinnie Ford is off gate number 2. And then we've got Geordie Loftus in blue. And off the outside gate will be Senna Summers. So this is the pairs final. And away we go. Away from the tapes and into the first corner. And it's a good start from Ben Trigger. His teammate, though, is in third place. Coming around the outside, Vinnie Ford. Oh, we've got a faller there as well, I think, on that fourth bend. And surely the red lights will be on there. So it will look like an uncomfortable one. And that will be Senna Summers, I think, involved in that crash there on that fourth bend. So the red lights on at the moment for that. And we'll have a look back at what happened in that one. So it was Senna Summers there. Just gets out of shape, does a 360 and just wipes out there. And thankfully, Vinnie Ford manages to avoid Senna Summers, because that would have been pretty bad. But everybody back on their feet and all good to go. So that is, I mean, this is the only thing with a pairs event. If you lose a rider, then it's pretty much game over, isn't it? But you never know what can happen, because we may lose another rider. But unfortunate there, we'll see for sure what's going to happen. But yeah, Senna Summers back on his feet. Richie Hawkins there just checking that he's all right as well. And yeah, Senna Summers makes his way in. In fact, all the bikes are heading back in, so I suspect that'll be game over, won't it? Because if you haven't got all four riders in a pairs event, then I'm not sure what's going to happen here now. So whether that's the end of the action, that could be the case. But we'll get confirmation on that there. So that fall for Senna Summers, maybe putting paid to that particular event. But the tapes are coming down. Are the tapes coming down? We're just waiting for confirmation from the referee of what may well happen next. And Wayne Jarvis, the referee there. And we're just waiting for further news, really, on what happens next. But the tapes have been taken down. I would say that's it for the Witches in 2025. So that will be awarded, because there's obviously, you know, it's about not coming last. If you've got a rider excluded, then that's it for a pairs event, really, unfortunately, the way it goes. So, yeah, the win there will go to Ben Trigger and Geordie Loftus, who will be the pairs winners of that event to round things off. And they're taking the fence down already, as they do every single week. After a meeting at Ipswich, a lot of work goes on at Foxhall to get this track ready for its next action, which is not Speedway based. So they're getting on with that job now. But there is the official results of the pairs final, which didn't take too long to sort out, unfortunately. But a win for Ben Trigger and Geordie Loftus ahead of ahead of Vinnie Ford and Senna Summers. So that's all done, and the final award is to be made out on the centre green, onto the podium for the riders that made the end of the meeting, and Jake Mulford, Cooper Russian and Vinnie Ford going to take their place on the podium. It's been some good racing, especially in those last few heats, those heats involving Cooper Russian and Vinnie Ford in the semi-final, and also the final as well. Good close racing. And most importantly, good experience for all of these riders to learn something, put them in race conditions in a meeting that it's not a league meeting or a national championship final, an under-21 final or something like that. Different environment and also the chance to learn from some experienced hands as well in the pits in between times. So it's been a good experience. Hopefully you've enjoyed the racing. We're going to have a look at the podium and the presentation once again. They're getting used to podiums and things at Foxhall at the moment, aren't they, after last week? But this week, the presentation for the Tigers Academy Open. And we've got our riders that made the top 3 out onto the centre green. And I think there might be some other presentations to come as well. So they're just being sorted out now. But don't forget to join us back on BSN tomorrow for the grand final of the Cab Direct Championship. And that will be the Glasgow Tigers and the Poole Pirates tomorrow from 7. So there's Ben Trigger. And taking his award, he finished in 4th place in the final. But had a good performance there, finished in with a strong qualifying heats, 3 wins back-to-back to get him into automatic qualification for the final. And certainly put himself about there and also lowered the colours of Cooper Rushen as well throughout that too. So it was not an easy job for him, and he's had a good meeting. So 4th place in the final for Ben Trigger. Next up is Vinnie Ford, who, as ever, has been entertaining and throwing the bike in and getting involved in some good races, particularly those races with Cooper Rushen in the semi-final and final. And really providing a bit of entertainment, and unfortunately didn't get the top step, but gets himself a bronze medal on the night at the Tigers Academy Open. Nearly, but not quite, but a great effort from Cooper Rushen. Finishes in 2nd place, and second time in a week he's been on a podium, finished in 3rd place in the Under-19 Championship. And a 2nd place tonight, certainly an eye-catching rider and some exciting racing as well throughout the course of this evening. And to the winner of the individual event then, didn't drop a point all night. Can't go better than that. Well done to Jake Mulford, who claims the top prize in this meeting. And yeah, you can't do better than score the full maximum. And that's what he did. Didn't put a foot wrong all night. Had a fantastic meeting. And Jake Mulford ends the night with a trophy. Okay, we'll head down to the centre green. I'll bid you a good evening, but we'll finish things off by joining Charlotte Woolsey, who's down on the centre green now, and maybe try and grab a chat with a few of those out there receiving their trophies now.
Yeah, thank you, Ian. It has been a great night of Speedway, getting to watch the youngsters, the new generation of Speedway, come up and have a great night of racing. And as you can see behind me, the celebrations are in full swing. From all of us at the BSN team, thanks for joining us. Don't forget to tune in tomorrow for the grand final. We'll see you then. Thank you.